Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love that you've subscribed. Here at Shenanigoons, no one was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery, that's usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome, 'cause you subscribed. Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love time that you've subscribed. Here at Shenanigoons, no one was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery, that's usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome, 'cause you subscribed.
Okay, then.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shenanigoons. You're welcome.
He's very proud of himself.
A little look like I'm not going to do anything, like I'm having disdain for my players yelling penis at me. And
not all of us did that.
Great.
I was talking shop,
All right.
but excuse me. Forgive me, please.
So, some people were whispering penis at me. That's true. Some people were just thinking it at me.
How could you tell?
Wow, Mike whispers really loud.
Yeah.
Mike whispers a lot. So, hello and welcome to Shenanigoons. I still don't have a really good introduction for this.
I wrote it and pinned it. The industrial fantasy D&D game where you contribute to the chaos.
I don't look at that. I need it somewhere else.
The Zoom chat?
I don't know where.
It can't exist.
We're all mixed up on screen.
Hold on.
Oh no,
Oh.
our order's different because somebody.
I am going
Oh, I
to
had
be
to move
Val
you guys
today.
around the other day. Is that what happened?
Maybe.
Hold on a second.
I'm fine. I'm good.
fine.
I'm Val.
I think it's just me and Mike that are in the wrong spots.
That
We're both Wayuna followers, but
Yeah, I don't have
That's
another
true.
layout, so
You want us to all drop and come back real quick?
hold on. No, I had to reorganize you guys last week for some reason.
take my hand. I'll guide you through the Shadowland of whatever it is I'm bringing you through.
the ocean.
The plains of
ocean
joy
very
and
dark.
sorrow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Come with
the
me.
fields of joy and the
Plains
plains
of
of sorrow. And
Mike,
the valley of
are you, like, really
shadows.
zoomed in or something? You seem really weird today.
I'm always weird,
Well,
especially when I
there's
go
that.
by Val. What if the person's name was Joy
There we go.
and you had to escort them to joy or even sorrow?
So where's
No
this thing
escort
pinned?
missions.
No escort quests. We don't do them.
Shenanigoons.
But I'm a completionist.
There's like there's 7.
It's the top thing.
Ah,
Want me to zoom out?
go for it. I'm gonna check out.
I'm gonna rock out.
So let's find out where I'm going to cut to start the podcast for this episode. Logan, you may.
You have
Hello,
to
everyone,
leave
and
the
welcome to
penis in.
Shenanigoons, an industrial fantasy D&D campaign where you add to the madness. I like that. I'll get that memorized in about 20 episodes. All right.
It could also be
being
contribute to the
generous.
chaos because that's what's in our intro in the
Contribute
podcast.
to the chaos. I like that.
Both
too.
are accurate.
I've got
And alerted.
I've got a sinking chair, and I don't like it. Okay. The gas
I
over
thought we
my
had a
chair is
sinking
good.
ship. I mean, that's how we ended up underneath.
It
the
didn't
sea.
sink.
No, we
It
jumped.
thought
did
you
not
meant-
sink.
No, it's not a sinking ship. Merrick's just seeing a side hustle.
Side hustle implies he's being paid.
It's true. That's
I'm
true.
not.
He's being paid in tuna.
There's that.
Oh.
Ooh.
So-
Welcome to Shenanigoons Maury edition.
all right, let's quickly talk about World Anvil, the most robust world building and campaign management software that exists on the internet today. World Anvil just had some amazing announcements. Tessa, you know a little bit more than I do. Do you want to say something about it? Angela, you know a little bit more than Tessa does and don't have a mouthful. Do you want to say something about it?
Well, World Anvil partnered with a bunch of really kick-ass people, including Dungeon Fog, which is a service that allows you to build really cool maps and stuff. Project Deos is a...
I'm the Deus, I'm the
we
Deus.
all can be the
I'm
map
the Deus, I'm
with
the
Project
Deus.
Deos. It's a Kickstarter that just... Project Deos is a Kickstarter that just got funded in 10 hours. They got funded. And they are going to bigger and better things. It's going to be awesome. I've been following the previews over the last few weeks as they've been putting stuff out, and it looks very, very pretty. A lot of really cool macro and micro map options. You can make anything from a room to an entire continent or world. One of the things I remembered they talked about was that there were planar dependent art sets. Like, I want to be in the Feywild, or I want to be in the elemental plane of fire, and they're going to make assets specifically for those areas. So there's a lot of really gorgeous art you can make with it. It's a subscription. I believe it will be a subscription service, same as Dungeon Fog is, but it's kind of expanded beyond what Dungeon Fog is. And World Anvil is partnering with them that when they reach a certain level on the Kickstarter, it will be fully integrated into World Anvil. You can put all your kick-ass maps directly into your World Anvil articles. So that will be cool.
Which is
Yeah, you should go-
amazing.
You should go check out Project Deos.
Yes, go check out Project Deus, a part of the World Anvil, the new World Anvil suite of products. I don't think it's actually theirs specifically only, but they are a partner of it. They're part of the Kickstarter that is going on right now.
They're one of several companies all banded.
But I was busy writing a song with Kyle.
Deos.
Deus, come and we wanna go forge.
You want to make
A beautiful map that's
Deus.
easy to make. Okay.
Project Deos.
Okay, we're gonna work on that. It's gonna come. All right. Yes, go check out worldanvil.com. Go try all their suites of products and amazingness. Go check out Project Deus. And it's been a long time since I've talked about this, like a week. World Anvil, light up the forge. That's their slogan. I don't have that written down on my little notes here. All right, next, Die Hard Dice. Die Hard Dice are the most amazing dice company that exists
I
anywhere.
was waiting
Why?
for the word robust.
Because they're not robust. Well, actually, they are extremely robust. They are basically they're enamel coated metal dice that I can't talk today. That are custom designed, 3D designed by the people at the wonderful people, Todd at Die Hard Dice. There, sent off to a company that they're manufactured. Then they bring them in house, do all the color testing in house, send it out to the manufacturer, and only produce when they're absolutely 100% happy and sure that the quality will be perfect, or at least the vast majority of the ones that they then can weed out the crap and move on to the best. So
Guaranteed to be
yes.
polished and cured.
Yeah. So
Hey,
check
hey,
out
hey. Only positivity.
check out that what
We're
I said they were
positive they're not
guaranteed to be polished
sticky.
and cured.
fully yeah, they're plastic or fully cured, and these are all positive things we're saying. No, okay, all right, I'm sorry. Moving on.
That was my fault.
It was your fault. I was being very good. Angela, you know that my wife is just a bad influence on me. But doesn't her
Bad
hair look
influences on each other
fucking
just
amazing?
for different
I
things.
love her hair right now.
What?
Your hair looks fucking
Oh, thank you.
It is very red.
I chopped 10 inches off of it.
Oh wow.
her hair.
It's gotten, yes, not off of Logan, off of my.
So
That's why he had to move
why
the
I keep
camera down a
shrinking
little
over
bit.
here. She keeps cutting inches off. This fucking chair. Okay, I figure out what's wrong with this chair.
Tez's next
so-
character name.
Stubby?
Lorena.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
Oh.
probably
Oh,
Lorena, but
Tessa's.
Bonnie Bobbitt.
I thought you... Bonnie. Good luck, Merrick. Merrick's short enough
Bonnie
as it
would
is.
never.
Bonnie
would
Bobbitt.
never. The balls pop out of her mouth. I don't know why. That would have
Well,
Mr.
now I have the
Bucket.
Bop It
What?
theme song
I
stuck in
went
my
to
head.
Mr. Bucket with that, and I don't know why.
Bobbit. Okay, no, we're stopping there. But that is the main thing. All right, holding it. All right, moving on. We're talking about Die Hard
I'm
Dice.
so
We
sorry.
can't do this to Die Hard Dice. They're too good at people. They're too innocent. They're too pure. They
Not
have
like
amazing,
this. Not like
wonderful. Not like this.
this. That is one.
That is one. Yes, that is one. So those are the Phoenix up there. I believe that Mike has beautiful set. That one of my absolute favorites. But anyway, yeah. So they do all the tests. They do all the color testing in house. They make sure everything is perfect. They bring them back, and then they send them to you. And they send them to you for an extremely reasonable price for metal dice. And if you just really, really want to look at those price tags and you're like, yeah, maybe not. Well, we'll help you out. We'll make that decision for you. Buy the dice. Use the coupon code Goonies for 15% off your first or next order. You can use the coupon code once, and then if you really want to buy more dice, well, you can go listen to some of the other shows on the Nerdsmith Network, and I'm sure you'll find other codes because they're all over the place over there.
Yep,
Because Die Hard Dice
It's like
is
an ARG for your
it
ears.
is. Ooh, an ARG for your ears. That's our new slogan. Because Die Hard Dice does not just sponsor this show; they sponsor every show on the Nerdsmith Network that wants to be a part of it. And I think right now every show is a part of it. So,
think so, yeah.
I know of one show coming up that is going to be holding a contest for some
we
of
have
those.
we have a lot of
next
contests
month,
going on,
so
and
you
we
wanna
might
maybe listen to
we
that.
might be doing a contest this month because it's our month in the rotation to get some giveaways. So we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with that coming up sometime in the next month here. But I do believe that almost every single show, not every single show, there are about 8 shows on the network right now that are giving away $50 gift certificates to Die Hard Dice. So, and I believe that if as long as you buy $35 or more, you get free shipping. So, I believe that's correct. Don't quote me on that one though. But and it will qualify because these are just straight gift certificates. So go check out those other shows where this is taking entirely too long. So if you want to roll with the best, you roll with Die Hard Dice, dieharddice.com. Next, let's talk very briefly about audience participation. And I'd really appreciate if we didn't, at least early on, do any wheels because I haven't gotten the wheel completely set up because we had some technical issues. But if you'd like to participate, there's 2 major ways you can participate. One, you can give us bits. bit donations are just like copper in the pockets of the players. Every bit that you drop, they find in the form of a copper, or if it's 10 bits, it's a silver. If it's 100 bits, it's a gold. 1,000 bits, it is a piece of platinum they find laying around, and inexplicably, no matter where they are, nobody questions that it is their money because you gave it to them, and I'm not going to interfere with that. We might joke about it, but I would never actually interfere with it.
Tweeter
Thank you
of
for the follow. Tweeter of
I
Tweeter of
Yeah.
Vecna
I
is
love
the
your-
greatest name
I
ever.
love your-
Fantastic.
I love it so much. I wish I was
Tweeter of
playing
Vecna.
Calliope right now just so I could go off about that.
Oh, but
since I
Mike
am
does a
not,
great
I
Calliope
do love it.
impersonation. So
Oh, I have not
Sure.
heard the Calliope impersonation.
no, not gonna happen here. All right. So I don't know.
I just have to say that maybe your username is a perfect tribute, at least in this digital world, to our Lord and Master Vecna.
There, that's
What she said?
Wait, let him get 0 sleep for 7 days and then be on like 2 cans of Red Bull, and you'll see what it's really
Yes, it's interesting.
like. Which we'll get there at some point. Maybe in 3 weeks when Mike comes back. But yeah, so audience participation. So also you can give us donations by using the donate to us link down at the bottom, and $10 will gift a reroll to a player, which I don't think anybody has one right now. You can spend 15 to spin the wheel of causality, which will have some sort of strange effect. $25 will you can introduce an NPC. One of the most famous that we have in game is Brindlehose the unicorn, who couldn't get his butt into couldn't quite fit into the narrow doors on one of the trains that the players were on. So they had to go over and literally butter him up to help squeeze him through the doors, and then they kicked him off the train in the most unceremonious way. Possibly they had him teleport
that
off.
was not all of us.
With that.
Yeah,
And then last, $50 gives you a time stop, which in the most dire of moments will allow a character to stop time, perform some godlike feat, basically breaking the game, giving them DM powers for a split moment in time to be able to just make something amazing happen. And that is for them and them alone. So that is what you can do, and we appreciate all of that. Anything you're able to do, anything you're willing to do, we do appreciate that. We had 2 other things. First off, Mike Arthur is going to be going away for a couple of weeks, so for the next 2 weeks there will be no Shenanigoons. I know that is very sad. However, Tessa is going to be coming back with A Taste of Paradise. A week or 2 ago, we did Monster of the Week. Tessa ran impromptu of right off the cuff. We played the characters Ingrid, Tabitha, and Meeks. And we did a little cute, fun adventure. It also got a little dark and twisted.
Good, yes.
And we're going to continue that story. So that's going to be kind of our off night when we don't have a player. When we have a player missing, we don't have a real good reason for them not to be there. We'll do that. So for the next 2 weeks, we'll be introducing Kyle's character to that, and the 4 of us will be playing in Tessa's world in this time slot for the next 2 weeks. It's kind of just an impromptu break.
And that character name is?
Rolly.
Roly poly, got it. Okay. So we'll be doing that next week, and then I had one other thing. What was it?
Nerdsmith?
I think it's Well, I don't have Nerdsmith on my list here, but yeah, we should talk about Nerdsmith. Nerdsmith is our network. You can go over and see all the other amazing shows on our network over there. Who are we supporting this week? Who's our focus? I don't remember.
Kajari's?
It's
My
Anne.
Curious Crafts.
Kajari's Curious Crafts. Oh my gosh, you cannot beat Kajari's Curious Crafts. They are a Twitch channel here on Twitch. Surprise. And you can go there and watch Anne do some amazing D&D-esque things. One of the big things she does is she makes terrain. And if you are not familiar with how to make terrain, you've always wanted to do it, starting there is great. She shows you the best and often the least expensive way to do it because she makes a lot of it. And I'm sure she wants to save as much money as possible. She's not going out and buying expensive tools or expensive anything. She's really good about just kind of showing you what you can do with what you can find at the craft stores near you. And often it's, here's my bag of sticks I went in my backyard and got, which I really, really love because there's nothing that's going to look as good, for a tree as a stick you find, the organic of it. And then also she does...
Or apparently grape stems.
Ooh, grape stems.
And there's a dog looking really, really sad in the backyard.
What?
That's our house.
Oh, okay.
They took all of the stick.
Oh no.
Anne is an incredibly talented DIY crafter.
Her
Yes.
stuff.
And so what? I don't remember which of the shows got kept. I'm sorry. I know she just took a step back from one of them. Was that the?
So the shows that she
She no
currently
longer makes
has
the ornaments?
are the shows she currently has. I'm
So Three
pulling them
Sheets,
up.
One Shot is still there then.
Correct.
So
With
on
the new
Fridays,
co-host.
on Fridays she sits in world builds, I believe, while drinking wine, for a potential upcoming show, but just her world in general. Is that show sponsored by World Anvil? Do we have World Anvil involved in that? I don't know.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, we'll
should
find out. Anyway, so go take a look at that. All right, well, this is taking way longer than it should. So, anybody have any last minute things?
Don't kill us.
No promises. All right, so why don't we go ahead and... Well, I don't know what I say here to get us into the thing, but... And we're back.
Hello.
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 Aloha.
Under the sea.
That's one.
That's fun.
Yep, I just figured I'd get out of the way early.
Might as well, right?
It means Logan can't.
Hey,
Get
hold
it.
on. Let's establish that. Because we're in the world of the Little Mermaid, can we really, like, is that really a thing, or we're just gonna, like, keep
Logan's
spamming that
already
button?
permanently made us have to reference things in this game because he's created characters.
No. Anything that's actually in the game is different.
All right.
No, I think actually last time I'm pretty sure we specifically said that Little Mermaid was off the table because this is
Okay.
it was like mentioning the Avengers before. It's like we can't not.
Right.
So I think Little Mermaid is off the table here.
You are a kind and
For
just
the-
DM.
Let's
I
not
mean,
get carried.
honestly, I'd be the one doing it more than anyone.
This is true.
Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I still owe you guys one from last session or the session before. 2 sessions ago, right?
No,
Oh,
you
I
owe us
2.
two
Oh shit! All right,
from
all right.
2 or 3 sessions ago.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
instead of 2 of those, I'll just do a wheel decide. I'll just do a wheel of causality. I don't know. I guess I got to get the wheel up. So
Which you don't have set up.
I'm
Yeah.
working
Good.
on it. So why don't somebody recap really quick while I set that up, and don't forget to use characters' full names so we can get all of the amazing wonderfulness that is
Reef McManchest.
Reef McManchest.
So there we were,
Daughter Art.
floating in the ocean after having jumped off.
Which is Ari McManchest.
Oh. No, this is one of those societies where you inherit your mother's name.
There you go.
Oh god, poor Reef. Mom. That
So there we were, floating in
Maybe-
the ocean. Sorry, we're gonna move right along. Floating in the ocean, and we had just watched the ship be dragged down by giant watery tentacles to an unknown fate. And we decided to start swimming down and swimming down and swimming down and swimming down. And then we got to the bottom and it was very, very dark. And so those of us who could see in the dark were leading, those of us who could not. And we had some, not a lot of proper planning or experience with deep underwater adventuring. So we had a lot of food in our bags because that's what you bring with you when you're on adventures. And of course, this attracts all manner of small, underwater I think we settled it on
Krill-like
krill-like creatures. Yeah, glowing pink kind of. I couldn't. Were they phosphorescent at all? Mildly phosphorescent? I don't know. In my brain, they were phosphorescent, and they started, congregating around us, and it was like, haha, this is fun. And then all of a sudden, Arthur, with his devil's sight, is able to see deeper into the ocean than the people with just your normal run-of-the-mill dark vision. And
That sounded like such an insult with his devil's sight. But no, it's legitimately
Bob, you playing that
That's how I
D&D
took it.
behind my back?
I like.
that devil's game.
Tom Hanks approves. So he sees a giant fish that is coming at us with giant sharp teeth, and we get into combat, and we get beefed real bad. So in a lot of ways, and well, okay, so sea cow, manateed. We get manateed real bad in a lot of ways, because they're sea cows. Sea beef. Anyway, long story short, it's really murky down there, and then we spot this glorious specimen of a merman. He's the
Lionfish.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's like part lion, like got the lionfish like elements to him. And he blows this horn, and the murk clears out of the water, and appears before us as a scout of the mer people that we've been sent to interact with. Reef McManchest, brawniest of all the undersea scouts and fish people. Oh wait, we shouldn't call them fish people because that's racist. They're merfolk. How about that?
Val.
Just don't call them ugly fish people. Right, Val?
I didn't say he was an ugly fish person. I was calling the Sahuagin things ugly
Don't
fish
call
people.
any of them. They might be mortal enemies, but you're gosh darn polite. So
She said she wasn't sure if it was offensive or not, and she apologized ahead of time.
I'm not racist, but
It was
I
more
have
like,
a friend
I don't,
who's a Sahuagin.
it was more like, I don't know if this is something that you guys think is offensive, but I don't know what other words to use.
The word that I have to use is ugly fish people.
Hyphenated.
Thank you, Pert.
I'm gonna be stuck on that for the rest of the game. Oh boy. You heard. Is that what? So we find out that the people that were on the cruise ship, including Brindlehooves, have been captured. Poor sweet innocent Brindlehooves have been captured by the Sahuagin to help them harvest from an air shale ruins under the ocean for artifacts. And what they're looking for is a pearl of incredible value that is purported to allow control over all of the denizens of the underwater depths. And the merfolk don't want the Sahuagin to get that. And I'm sure that the Sahuagin would very much like to get that, hence the slavery. So we've agreed to assist with that as well.
retrieving the pearl, that was the
Yes,
terms?
retrieving the pearl. And the merfolk...
We did get the...
Yeah, the merfolk actually do their business transactions up front. So the item that we were sent down to claim, the other half of the Gemini compass, which allows... on the prime material plane, will detect where the other compass is its power here.
And apparently you can talk to the other person.
Which we found out when
Discovered?
Adelaide was inadvertently put into contact with Robin, who told us
That's
that...
a kind way to put it. Scolded.
Okay, yeah. Admonished. Admonfished by Robin. And... yes.
Let's go deeper.
Okay.
That's what Reef said.
We hadn't gotten there yet.
Man.
Yeah, they're still at dinner.
We set her up and she's...
We got to raise the bar. So we are tasked with
Usually how it
going
starts.
and rescuing the folks who were down and are now down serving the Sahuagin and bringing them back up to the surface. I hope either with or without it wasn't specified whether or not we needed the ship, but I'm sure that would be appreciated.
Yes, I think that would be helpful.
It'd probably be easier.
Merrick got drunk and flirted inadvertently with Reef while his
You would just
daughter.
say fish man.
Don't
Excuse me,
don't put
lion
on, don't
fish
put me
man.
on blaster. Little lion fish man.
Yep.
It was
I
not
just
your fish,
played
but
Monk
mine.
Fishford and Sons.
Having a day today, guys.
The hopeless sailor. Yeah, so that's pretty much where we had agreed. Yeah, we agreed to help them out, and I taught him a ribbled song, and it was great. It was good fun, and that brings us to now.
Taught him.
We were having
what?
the rest of us were having dinner with
Yes.
Reef's daughter Ari. Presumably a crab is somewhere nearby, and
Always.
either on the plate or
It's
in
just
her
a
pocket.
lobster.
Has a Norwegian accent for some reason. Just like very specific. Anyway,
I didn't eat it because it talked.
and sang.
And
It was
sang,
very
yeah.
disconcerting.
It had a thing.
Conducted in a band. So yeah, we were having dinner with Reef's daughter.
But it
Apparently
only sings. I
babysitting
sing a little prayer
during.
for you.
Hmm.
My best friend's wedding.
So yeah. Adelaide, I'll get it going if that's useful for you, Logan, unless you know where we're going.
I know I
I
was
wasn't
out
sure if you
doing-
guys were done. There was a little bit more, I thought, but
I was
okay.
out getting
We-
something,
Um,
and I don't remember what I was getting. And as Reef and Merrick
Yeah,
swam right
because-
by, and she's completely like,
Right. I'm just trying to remember. I thought there was something that happened right at the end there. I'm trying to remember what it was exactly.
can't remember if I was
It wasn't
hitting
like
air
some.
or.
It wasn't like a big reveal.
It was.
No.
I think it was just a thing with Robin. It came earlier. Is
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah. Mhm.
And I hung up on
So
him.
yeah. So basically, yeah. So
We're having dinner.
I don't think we need to do any more that night, right?
We left with them walking right past Bonnie drunk, and
Yeah,
they
I
were gonna
know,
share
but
stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
okay,
coming
alright.
with us to share the
Well,
wine.
They were.
Yeah, there
They
was
were going to
important
share the
thing-
wine and share what they had been talking about, which I figured we didn't need to tell the audience a second time, considering they just heard it in the thing. If you really want to hear it again, go back and listen to the podcast.
Note to self:
So we
don't
can
hold on to
move on to
things
next-
till next week. Okay.
right?
Well, if you had something that's different.
I had very minor things to live in that scene. But if we're not doing the scene, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not important detail.
Why? We
It's
can.
not
I just
important.
if there's nothing important going on, then we should move on.
Is there
if-
anything
if Bonnie
important
and-
going
and
on,
Merrick
Merrick?
Are going to make us.
I want to be there if they're going to make a scene.
Yeah, I was going to say if there's going to be a scene. I mean, we all want to be there. We're all just like
Sound keeps
Gossip.
cutting in and out.
what?
Sound keeps cutting in and out. And I don't know why.
When was
so
the
I
last time you
apologize.
rebooted?
Right before stream, like
Oh,
I
good
always
job.
do every single week.
Good job.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Megan is good. If
All right, then.
Bonnie doesn't
So-
think she'd do anything and Merrick doesn't think he'd do it.
I am not going to cause trouble. I came down
I
here
know.
to
You're
be
walking
pleasant
trouble.
and
He is walking trouble.
swimming. Let's be cognizant of our surroundings, please.
No, Bonnie would not cause a scene. She's just curious as to what the heck is going on. That's all.
Yeah,
What the heck is going on?
I'm just curious. What's happening? No, but Adelaide doesn't sincerely care, but she's
All
more
right.
interested in the drama than the actual relationship thing.
Cue Michael Jackson eating popcorn.
Exactly.
Yes.
Chat knows what I'm talking about. There's popcorn all up in the chat.
There is, that's true.
Alrighty, so the five of you wake up the next morning here in this little air pocket bubble that you have been assigned to live in here. You have the compass, and well, it's yet another day. The problem with being where you're at, and even with the fire they have going, it's really hard to get anything dry. So you're putting on wet clothes. It's warm, wet clothes, but they're still kind of wet clothes because the humidity in here is very high.
I look for something I have that might be linen, so it'll air out fast.
Kind of does, but again, you're soaking in salt water all day, so.
Oh, this is gonna be awful. Apparently, they've never heard of trench.
Well, I mean, they don't have
Have they
feet.
heard of feet? Thank you.
Trench fin.
Also, I mean, they say salt water is supposed to be pretty good for your skin. I don't know.
I have no issue with it, but I know I'm the exception, not the rule here.
Adelaide spends some of the morning reading a book that's been in her book bag, so it's been out of the water, not in the water. And her octopus familiar has been floating through a window into the air bubble, waiting for her to throw it back out the window so that he can run back in and
There's
get
no
thrown back out the
window,
window.
because then it would
There's
fill
no
with water.
window?
It
Oh, I
is-
thought I assumed it was magic. I'm sorry.
No, it's
just
not
assumed it was
magic. It's actually just an air pocket. They've created a dome of air, so there's just a hole in the ground. So it pops up out of the hole and gets you to toss it back in. Like kind of flumps and like slides itself across the floor. Do you pick it up
Gross.
and throw? Like the cat in that video that comes over, runs over, the owner throws it. You're like, oh my god, what are you doing? He comes back over and they do it like 20 times because the cat loves it. Yeah, it's like that.
Is it producing the smell when it flumps?
No, it's not flumping.
It's not a
it's
flump.
flumped.
You just said that.
It was the verb.
It's
not
making
the-
suction
the
cup
noun.
noises.
It's like Garfielding.
It's more of a splorp than anything.
It's
That's good.
splorping.
That's good.
It's splorpling and florpling all over the ground. And one time it girded, but then Angela had yelled and had to clean it up.
And it looked real sad.
You always got to clean up after your pets. Yeah, it looked a very guilty look on its tentacle.
Well, you go
It
Gert
turned
outside.
blue.
Yes.
I got surprised when she threw it as Merrick was coming back in and it inked.
No, I'm not quoting. Okay, you got that one for today. Okay.
I'll probably do the next one too. That is one of my favorite lines. So Ari shows up and has piles and piles of food for you. Basically the same food you had last night. You're gonna have a lot of seafood.
You gotta get used to the same food when you're on the road.
I mean, there's a lot of variety in it, but you know,
Does she pop up out of the hole as well? Like 'cause it's
everybody
an air
does.
bubble. Okay.
yeah, that's how everybody. Remember, they kept jumping up and sitting on the edge.
It's an oddly impersonal way of
Yeah, there is no door,
pop out of the hole.
and there's no curtains or anything, so you can all see each other. It's just basically a big round dome.
Well, it's not like we can dry the clothes, so I assume we just sleep in what we were wearing.
No, you take them off, otherwise you chafe.
We're gonna be underwater the whole time. What chafing is there gonna be?
I'm sure that there would be some manner of Bonnie.
Can we not talk about chafing?
Well, I mean, it's not really so much of an issue, but I would recommend maybe if you've got like a powder or anything that you've managed to keep dry, it might be good on your thighs. But I would change into different clothes if possible. Just personally, it might be a little easier, or at least something longer, or pants that will. I wouldn't wear a skirt or a kilt because your thighs will rub together, but anything that separates your thighs would be okay, I think.
I only have one set of armor, and if I take it off, I don't know how I'm going to get it back on underwater very effectively.
That is an issue.
I've slept through worse on the road. I'll be fine for a night or two.
But will your armor be all right?
Well, I mean, it is magical now.
Fair point.
Yes, I know that everything's messed up right now for the people watching on video. Sorry. It's going to be messed up for a
Arthur,
second.
Arthur, who have you disguised self into? Sorry, I'll stop making a note of it.
For those
Yeah,
of you
'cause
watching the
podcast people are
podcast,
confused as hell.
watching the podcast,
Sometimes-
come on, Kyle.
Sometimes when streamers like each other very much, but their computers don't, they have to reboot. So, yeah. pretty bad.
Yep. Technology gremlins like to cause us problems.
All the time.
So we tough it out. I'm. The Birchfield can fix your armor if anything happens to it. It's fine.
Do I have any kelp in my teeth?
It's like just literally growing out of your teeth.
Thank you.
Gremlin Gadget Pod. That's a good idea.
The random stuff can be all of the things they took that ruined our internet.
I should close this chat now, or at least move it out of my direct line of sight so I'm not like reading
No,
things that pop up.
you send all the
I'm
private
really
messages.
tired. Did I mention we're moving this week? Tess and I are moving. That's why everything looks like a complete disaster behind me. Right? Oh, it always looks like a disaster behind me. That'll be
No,
fixed.
the Gremlins just stole everything off
They
of Logan's
stole
shelf.
everything except
Yeah,
for the.
they did.
Yeah, just gone. They left the NyQuil though. Thank God.
Yeah,
I mean
someone
the
needs
generic sleeping time medicine that is behind me.
someone needs to invent Gremlin Be Gone.
It's called IT.
Comes in one of those gigantic. Yeah, it's only
only
you
like-
know what it is.
It's only like
It's called having a
40%
production
effective.
company and spending a lot of fucking money.
It's just one of those cans of air with a label taped to it.
Ooh, that's a
It's
good
basically
idea.
the IT equivalent of blowing in the cartridge.
Uh-oh.
I'll
Love
pop
this
out.
spider cam. Oh, now it's all broken. Oh Lord, nope, not past.
Oh god.
So and when you're going back to edit this for the podcast, you can just
Oh, I'm
start
not editing
about 5
at all.
minutes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
I'm
just
not
start it in 5 minutes from now. When
We
we,
gotta
actually
Start the
pass.
whole
start.
thing.
There's
Yeah,
another
just
clip.
Cut everything.
There we go. Sorry about that.
I preface
Oh,
every
that's
I can
episode
hear
of
you
the
now.
new podcast with please forgive our mess. We're still figuring this out. So hopefully our podcast.
Wait, you're going to be doing that until our last episode.
Oh, I pre-recorded.
The very last
it. It's gonna
episode.
be in
We
every
finally
episode.
figured it out, but sadly, this is our last episode. And then you just heavily edit that one so it actually sounds like we have our shit together. I love it. It's perfect.
Sorry.
We don't
You know
want
what, if you
anyone
didn't
missing
want-
out on the.
If you didn't want Tech Gremlins, what are you doing watching live D&D on Twitch? I mean, come on. There's like 2 channels that don't have this level of issues.
And that's because they have a
Yeah.
behind the scenes
A
paid
ton of
production
money.
staff.
And they're all in the same place. Which
Yeah,
would
that
solve
also
like
helps.
90% of these problems.
True.
Well, actually, it would mean that if we had a problem, well, it would solve, let's see here, 20, 40, 60, 80, 82% of the problems. But it would mean that if we did have a problem, we'd all be gone. We wouldn't have anything. Like either there's a problem and there's no stream, or there's no stream, or there's a stream and there's no problem. There's a saying in there somewhere. Let's
Anyway,
get back to
we
the
all
game.
woke up.
You all woke up.
And we
Welcome to
ate.
Shenanigoons. We'll just
Yes.
start here. Let's
We'll
start
start
all
here.
over.
Hey,
Just
guys,
start all over.
What
we need
happened
to
last
save Brindle
episode?
Hooves. We need to get
We need
going.
to save
That-
Brindle. You do need to save Brindle Hoos.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Among
That ship
others.
has sailed.
We
Well-
should paint it on the water tower.
Hello, Matthew. You
Yeah.
got here just in time.
Hi.
Just in time to hear us
Just as
start
the
the
plot
podcast.
was starting.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet.
We've done a lot. We've just nothing productive. We got through our
I-
break.
I just jumped down the water chute and start.
All right. So you guys jump down into the water, and you are greeted with your friend Reef Mc.
Oh, hello, Reef.
Hmm,
Good morning, Reef.
your chest is looking
Hi.
very shiny this morning.
Brindle Hooves was on the Gigantic when it was taken by the Sahuagin. The Sahuagin. So
You're the
of course I
DM. Just
chose
make a
them
new
as the
name
main
up.
enemy for this. The Swayzes.
The swaggin.
They all
The swag.
The swaggin.
It's the say who again. That's how I've been remembering it.
Who?
Say who again.
Say who again,
Exactly.
motherfucker?
Say who again. Say one more time.
Okay,
That's one. Yeah.
I'm proud of that one though. I don't regret that one at all.
No, that was very good. So yeah, so the swaggin, they were taken by the swaggins. One of
Bilbo
them
the
Working on
Swaggin?
fixing that.
very saddened. Bilbo Swaggins.
Oh, that was glorious. Sorry.
So yes, hello, Reef.
How did you sleep, Reef?
On me back,
Mm-hmm.
floating at the top of my bowl. I don't.
Oh God, undead merman.
You don't think that's giving off false signals?
I'm part dolphin. I only sleep half of my brain at a time, and I have to go up for air. So he greets you. Are you ready to begin your adventure?
Yeah, about a half hour ago.
You know what, Mike? Next
boy.
stream, you get a DM. Congratulations. This is like Moose Turd Pie. As soon as you complain, you become the cook.
It's going to be the priest from Spaceballs. Just, do you? Good, you're married.
Okay, you're married. Kiss her. Okay. Excellent. So I shall take you. I should take you right away.
Sounds for the best.
Do we want to check in with
He
Robin?
didn't look when he said, "I'll take you right away." What was that?
Do we want to check in with Robin before we go? Or did we need to make any sort
Not
of preparations?
in the slightest.
All right.
He gave us orders to do what we could to save the crew and the passengers of the ship. Presumably that includes saving the ship.
Oh well, but if you
But,
get the pearl, then that won't be an issue. We'll be able to negotiate with them.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, all right.
They really won't
Well,
have
that's
any
good.
other recourse.
All right, then Pearl is the focus, and we'll work out the details later.
Excellent. Swim this way. And he starts swimming off. Probably faster than you can initially, and then he kind of slows down and waits for you to catch up.
He's just doing this so we have to watch him swim away.
Wiggling his butt. A fishy butt. Let's
Is
not
he
prepare. We're not
poisonous?
used to it. I love that.
His tail is pretty.
I was gonna say he's got like spiky things on it.
Gotta be very careful.
Yeah.
It's like having sex with a porcupine.
That poisons you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very strange alleg. I don't like that.
They call it porking for a reason. See, Logan, when you look down like that, I feel like you're tallying off something on a piece of paper.
No, just checking my phone for the time to see how much longer I can enjoy it.
I've been pining for you.
Pining for the fjords.
That's good.
That is an ex-parrotfish.
We're being. Wow.
I say we're going to take 2 weeks off. That didn't mean we're taking tonight off. Come on, guys.
All right, so we follow Reef.
We're not actually
I mean,
taking
there's
2
no-
weeks off for those who are new. We're just doing the show for the next 2 weeks.
is-
Shenanigoons is taking 2 weeks off because Arthur's going to be working. So we're going to be playing Tessa's Monster of the Week game for the next 2 weeks. Okay, back to it. So he starts to swim off, and he swims for a while. It's actually about an hour-long swim with your speed. And off in the distance, as soon as he leaves the city, you guys go through the seaweed again, and he blows the horn again, and you get that same kind of vision back. And you guys start to swim out. Out in front of you, under the ocean, is this huge rock structure. You would call it a mountain, but it's underwater. Still a mountain, but it's just underwater. And as you're looking at this, it's just immense. It's bigger than any single mountain you've ever seen. You can actually sort of see the outline of it darker than the surrounding, where light is kind of just barely coming in. You thought it was pitch black before, but where the lights kind of stopped as the morning sun is behind it, off deep in the way in the distance, it's just completely black. So you can just kind of see this dark, massive splotch in front of you. As you get closer, you discover that it's rocks. It's completely black.
Shenanigans. We love that you've subscribed. You had Shenanigoons. No one was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery. That's usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome. 'Cause you subscribed.
Thank you for the subscription. Tessa? Thank you.
Hi. Sorry.
There are new ones in there. Just, in case anybody's interested.
I don't believe you at this point.
I know, right? It keeps playing like 3 of them tonight. They keep playing the same ones. So.
Not that we don't love it.
We do love
We
it.
do love
But
it.
we really want to hear the new ones
But
too.
yeah, we want to hear some of the new ones.
Yeah.
We've been swimming and
So as you guys come up
and
to this
there's
edge
a
of this
mountain.
rock, he kind of swims along it, and you start to notice that there are these areas that are almost marked as you're closer to it with kind of this phosphorescent sort of. You would call it paint, but you're pretty sure it's not paint. As just different parts of it, just very, very faintly sort of glow. And then he kind of starts following this trail around the side of the mountain. And it takes about another 20 minutes at your speed until he comes up to what you can see, kind of something glowing underneath one of the outcroppings on this rock. It looks like daylight is pouring in into the water. So he swims right up to it, and up through this crack, you have to kind of shield your eyes for a second as your eyes start to adjust. You see sky. You see at least something blue.
What is this place?
Land. It's dry.
Inside the mountain.
Through all of it, as far as we can tell. The Sahuagin are
Fascinating.
approaching from the other side, but we believe this is the right place. Also, it'd be near impossible to enter from the other side. For us, it would be a few hours journey. Inside, we have no idea how long.
For the Sahuagin, like your people, do they have fins to travel and move around, or do they have legs like us?
I think the Sahuagin can have both. Let me check here.
Trying to basically suss out if they were the same fishmen that we saw with the boat. I'm assuming so.
They are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sahuagin have kind of flipper feet.
So, is it basically like there's a mini world inside?
Seems that way, but you haven't looked in yet, so you don't know. You can just kind of see daylight pouring down through this pool that probably exists up in the inside of this place.
Does the mountain go to the surface?
Not that you can tell. That'd be a long way to go to the surface.
Sure. Just trying to figure out if there's a reasonable terrestrial light source to be seen or not. All right. So, do you have any concept of what we might find in here?
We've looked in. There's tiny kelp all over.
All right. And
large
have you
coral.
seen anything dangerous that you know of?
whale-like creatures.
Okay.
That's good to know.
But with any kind of points to your legs.
Oh. All right.
Not swimming,
Interesting.
because there's no water.
Otherwise, we would go ourselves.
Of course. That makes sense. All right. Well, shall we be off?
Thank you, Roll Society, for the raiding Ashport. Although we're not in Ashport right now.
We are
under the sea.
The
Ah, damn
under
it, I
the
messed up.
ocean. Not copyright infringing.
No, copyright infringing. Thank you guys so much for coming along. So,
I'll head up first.
okay, so Arthur, you start to pull yourself up into this, and as you look around, you don't see kelp or coral or anything like that. But you start to get the idea that he was just relating to what he knows. You see fields of grass and trees and other rocks, and this place is huge. And here's the strange thing: even though where you're kind of coming up is at the edge of the mountain, as you get into this area, you're in a pool in the ground. It's like a small oasis, even though it's not in a desert, and you can go in any direction. This is like going into a bag of holding almost. It's obviously some sort of extra dimensional space or something like that. Give me a perception check. This is Arthur. Everything's fine. Come on up.
Well, I don't need to look anything up because that is a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
Plus.
Nice.
Oh.
Strapping for Shenanigoons, you're awesome, you've subscribed.
I love that. Oh, God.
You got him.
More.
Keeps going.
Stops eventually. There we go.
That was
Love
very
it.
good. I was
I
not
love it.
expecting,
You
even
can
though I
roll.
set it up. I knew there was a possibility. I completely forgot about it. Perfect. That's exactly what should happen. That was a
And
good
you'll
one.
never
That's a
know
good
which one it'll be.
So
You two can
so
roll
there are
natural
parents-
20s
subscribed.
with Die Hard Dice.
Zarius.
Zarius?
Yes, Zarius. Thank you for subscribing.
Zarius, thank you.
It's actually it's a natural 20, but it's a 19 for me because I'm negative.
It's a natural 20. That's good enough. So as you're looking around, off in a large grove of trees and bushes, you see what Reef might describe as a large whale-like creature. Arthur, you would describe it very differently. You would describe it as maybe a large lizard or some sort of creature like that. But it is. I'm not sure if Arthur's ever seen a dinosaur, but it's a dinosaur.
He can turn into them. So
And
yes.
you can. It is maybe it's let's see. Let's pick a good one. Stegosaurus. That's a good one.
All right.
Wow.
Actually, there's several of them, and they're munching away on some plants and trees down there.
Cool. I'll just wait for everybody else to come up. I'll put my hand down to help them.
I'll follow
Okay.
Arthur.
All right, as you guys
Same.
get pulled up into the same area, you are standing in this field, and you're surrounded. You see natural blue light above you. You see the sun in the sky, clouds, and it's just a beautiful place that you're in.
I am absolutely flabbergasted and desperately want to know what the hell's going on.
Mhm.
This is
And
amazing.
if you look over there in the distance, there's a group of Stegosauri.
Who's a what
the
size?
fuck?
Somebody punched him in the face.
Guy named Stag.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
For
This is very strange.
This is amazing.
No, but where is the sun coming from?
It's like a snow globe, and they've painted the sun on the inside.
That implies we're trapped in a snow globe. I don't like that connotation.
Except we're not trapped. We just came in through a hole, and we can.
That's
probably
true.
leave through
It
that.
kind.
Arthur, you can fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna?
Not at
Bonnie?
Oh,
Bonnie, you like stories? Have you heard the one about flying to the sun? That's kind of a big...
No.
Speaking of stories, I don't remember what the book is called, but isn't there some story about a bunch of adventurers going to the middle of the planet or middle of the earth, and there's something crazy going on?
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is. I don't know if I've heard it, but stories are all-encompassing.
Logan, would Adelaide have any sort of concept of why there is sun down here from
I don't
an
think so.
arcane studies or something perspective?
It's magic.
Could be magic.
Does
I don't
it
think you have enough
seem like-
information to go on just yet. Those checks will come.
So pick a direction.
Not towards the dinosaurs.
I don't know. Arthur turned into one of those, and it was plenty friendly, so
Yeah, exactly.
should be fine.
That is...
Serve
that's
to
not...
drink.
Dear God, you would all die.
Or-
No,
Well-fitting
not the
clothes.
same.
I tend to agree with Adelaide. I feel like we might want to avoid the giant thing that looks like it could squish us.
But
Just
but
thought.
what if you? Okay, here's a thought.
Arthur turns into a stegosaurus and gets into a buck battle.
That's a cooler thought than the one I had. I was
I was
saying.
being sarcastic, but it is within the realm of
It
possibility.
can't last more than an hour, though.
I was saying we turn them into mounts and ride them around in here because that would be kind of fun.
Turn them into mounts.
Yeah, we just
I'm very...
These things are not as random
Which
as
one's
I
it
would
gonna
think.
be? Which one's it gonna be? Thank you for the raid.
Yes, thank you.
Now I'm getting excited every time towards the end. This is it. This is what we do on this stream. We just listen to these music.
Yep.
And
Hey, if we have a dance
That's
party, I'm not complaining.
roll control. Thank you for the raid.
We've got a new subscriber. Shenanigoons. We love
never playing
that
today.
you subscribe. Mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe.
Some are shorter. No, they're the same length, but thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so
I'll
much.
just say, Logan wanted this to happen.
Yeah,
He did. He really did.
We're gonna get 4 of
thank you
them.
guys. That's
He
amazing.
really did. This
Doesn't
is
it
one.
really just play them in order? I thought, okay,
Twice in a row in order.
yeah.
This is the last one.
No, I meant I didn't realize that that if somebody donated several times. Thank you guys again so much. This is amazing. You guys are wonderful. Really appreciate all the subscriptions.
We do promise that eventually we will get back to this story. But
Most
this
of-
is I'm almost in
There we go.
It's amazing.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Really appreciate it.
Thank
We
you,
have
Matthew
several
and
of
Heather,
those.
for
There
the
are more that have
lyrics.
not been heard.
And that was me at 2 a.m. I don't know what happened. I woke up and there were
Magic.
tracks on my...
Magic happened. It's-
Yes, thank you for doing it. Thank you,
I
for
gotta-
Matthew. And
I
we've got a
was-
few other people that are in there as well.
Oh my god. I was on
Damn, I still
vacation
gotta do
and
that
I got
Beastie
a
Boys one.
text.
Yes.
I got a text from Angela going, I have created a monster and that's all
What have I
do.
done?
What have I done? Amazing is what you've done. Okay, so you don't
Don't
like the
remember
idea
where
of
we were.
turning the
There you
Stegosauruses
go.
into mounts?
I don't. Okay, so the issue is not so much having an issue with the plan. I'm very curious about the logistics of said plan. How? Just ask nicely, or do you actually have like a stratagem?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to dealing with horses, with the knights, but that's not a horse.
Animal handling?
Go
So
ahead.
asking nicely, that is the plan. Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
I mean, well, okay, so if Arthur turns into a Stegosaurus and, like, Val is riding him, maybe the other Stegosaurus will think it's cool and they'll be like, yeah, we'll totally let those other folks on our backs. This sounds crazy even as I'm trying to say it. So, never mind.
So
I would like to glance around and see what other things there might be to see in terms of other pathways or things of note that might point, there's a secret magic pearl this way.
Well,
Is there a
nothing
big
that you
glowy
can-
beacon?
Nothing that you can see. You see a few other types of dinosaurs. You see some pterodactyls flying around. You
shit.
see a couple way off in the distance in another large pool of water. There's a couple of brachiosaurus and a few other just different types of dinosaurs just chilling out.
Okay,
There's some
those ones
large
are bigger. We should
chicken-like
ride those ones.
creatures. What?
So those ones are bigger. We should try to ride those ones.
Bigger doesn't mean easier to ride.
Or slide down.
Agreed.
Exactly. Giant slides. Merrick, you understand me.
Giant slides don't make good mounts. You slide off onto your ass.
But if you're onto your ass, aren't you on the mount anyway?
Did you bring a donkey with you? Because otherwise, no.
No.
Damn.
All right.
Val
That's
has her mount, so
That's true. Oh, that's true.
Oh,
I forgot though. Can't it only hold one person?
correct. It is a
It's
literal
very
Okay.
tiny white elephant.
Yeah.
Well, small white
I
elephant.
mean, technically, I have a mount, but it only holds one person, so that doesn't really help us.
It's got like 0 storage space in its trunk.
Hmm.
Did you check the boot?
It's not wearing boots.
Yeah, it's not wearing boots, and its caboose
Merrick,
is,
You
know.
have to check the trunk. Come on.
I just made that joke.
Oh.
You're gonna really duplicate that
Okay,
joke?
so here's what's
You
goes.
don't
Here's
listen
what
to me,
happens.
That's fine.
No. Here's what happens. I'm fixing something, and I
Oh,
missed the thing. Yeah, I missed the thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
I missed the thing. Sorry.
It's okay.
We still love
I
it.
still love it.
I thought it was very funny, only to realize.
It was very funny had it been the first time. Yes.
Hey, guess
Although
what?
I'm
Guess
sure
what? I
yours
have,
would
I
have
have
gotten a better
final cut
reaction 'cause mine
control
got
of this episode.
Jack also. Yeah, there. Yeah, so my
Cut
joke
it.
out the. That's actually okay because my joke got no reaction at all. So please put your joke in there. and add a laugh.
No, I'm gonna cut my ridiculousness out.
Nope. You're allowed to edit yourself. That's the.
It's the
So
beauty
we're
of
looking
being-
for a giant pearl, right?
Right.
Right. Should we
So
look
why
for a
don't we-
giant? Oh,
Yeah, we're on a wavelength today. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
A giant oyster?
Right.
exactly.
A giant magical oyster.
Alrighty.
That is very plausible. So long as it hasn't already been removed from said oyster, yes.
Oh,
That's a
true.
fair way to go.
I mean,
But
if
it's a
we're
good
enough start.
we're in a world that's inside a mountain under the sea. Maybe there's an ocean here.
I mean, there's a pool of water right there. What if it's at the bottom of the water underneath a really giant, awesome, scaly fence?
Are there,
Well, it seems to me that wouldn't Reef and his people have found it already if it was in the
No.
water.
if they
Not
can't
if you
travel
have
over
to
land?
access it.
Oh,
Maybe the pearl is actually the sun that's glowing and creating all the.
Also, a possibility.
Arthur,
Yeah,
don't
it's
stare at
not
it for too
impossible.
long.
Why yet?
There you go.
Damn it.
You gotta.
I'm going this way.
I'll
Alright.
follow along. It's as
Same.
good as any
I
other.
had
Towards the
North.
woods, towards the water. You can't really tell north, south, west.
I can. I'm the map, and I head north and towards the water.
Well, you are in Adora, so Ooh, that sounds. Never mind. Moving on. The city of Adora. Thanks for drilling that one into my head, by the way. All right, so you kind of look around, you look up, and you determine by even though it's kind of right above you, the location of the what you guess to be north, and you start to head that, which is kind of towards the forest.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. So you are heading towards the forest. As you get closer to the forest, you start to see these Stegosaurus creatures. They kind of one of them looks up at you a little bit, and then kind of just turns and starts lumbering half, like just a few steps away from you, and starts eating a different bush. And this forest isn't very thick. You can kind of see through it. The trees are tall, but relatively average. They're probably just evergreens, which is a little out of place here. It doesn't seem like this place would would be the type of place that would grow these types of trees necessarily. Anybody who's trained in nature can start to pick up that a lot of these plants don't seem to normally are found together. Anybody trained in nature?
Nope.
Checking.
So they're plants,
Yes.
and they're all over. Okay, Val, thank you.
You know how many skills there are, Logan? Do you know how we have to select those skills?
As you get through the forest just a little bit, you see on the other side these huge, like, ferns. Like, they're bigger than anything you've ever seen. They're tall, twice as tall as you are. The leaves are bigger than your head on these ferns.
Ooh.
This is really weird, you guys. I mean,
This is awesome.
I've done enough traveling with the nights and everything. This type of landscape doesn't make sense together. The field we were in with the like little pond, and then we're in a forest with evergreens, and now there's these giant ferns. It's like someone smashed a jungle next to a forest that you would find up north. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well,
Maybe it's not so much a forest as it is a garden.
That's right. Reef did say that it was. Never mind. I was reading the thing about the compass, and my brain was saying something about it. Oh no, it was in a temple, right? That the pearl's supposed to be in a temple. I thought. Maybe I wrote that down wrong because I'm
No,
great.
you're right.
So yeah, if
That's
it's
true.
supposed to be in a temple, then it could make sense that this was all
Okay.
cultivated.
That's true.
Well, let's start looking for a dog.
Why a dog?
Why?
Because he's still reading that damn Puppies of Mystery book and he can't get his brain off.
In Puppies of Mystery, there's this group, and they go as Temple of the Dog.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty popular.
Sounds good.
Gotta go see OMAC.
The joke. We do. I call Silver Monk. Is that
Should we collect some of these samples for the institute?
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
That's quite astute, Arthur. Yeah, sure.
I will take
I
a
can
fern
do
leaf.
some pressings into my book since I hacked the book bag.
Under D, right?
For
Depressing.
douchebag? Yeah, that's how I remember to bring things to.
Depressing.
God damn.
Mine's an O.
Now she'll pull
Help,
out
help.
her book. She'll pull out the book that has the hole cut out of it and
Sure.
place some things into that book, and then
Like what?
like Arthur said, maybe a sampling of one of the fern leaves, maybe
Okay.
like a cutting,
Okay.
or something small that she could get almost whole.
Can I find her like a small pine cone from the forest?
Yeah, that'd work. Or are they head-sized?
Pine cones on the ground. Nothing that you see. Maybe it's the wrong time of year, or
Which is
it seems
ironic
fairly
considering
clean
we're
on
in
the
a
floor
bubble.
here. Adelaide, as you pull out your dagger and go up to one of these ferns to cut it, you put the dagger up to it, and the fern slaps you.
Oh.
and then the entire plant starts to move
Not another plant,
and
Mom.
starts to descend on you.
Damn it!
Let's roll initiative.
Oh no.
And
So first that razor seaweed, and now the birds.
Mhm.
Plants don't like
fucking
you.
hate me. Well, I don't like them.
you
I
should
wanna
have
stab
pet it.
I got a 12 for the podcast.
12 for the podcast.
I got a natural 20, 24 total.
I got a 5. Oh,
I
to
also
Shenanigoons. We
got a
love that you
5
subscribe.
plus 2.
You've tuned in to Shenanigoons, and no one here was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe. So strap in for Shenanigans. You're awesome. You subscribe.
Love it.
Guys.
Thank you very, very much, Anonymous Gifter, for giving Big Chris 907. Big Chris. Strap on for Shenanigoons. You know what? I'm okay with
I
that.
haven't done that style of music yet.
7 for me.
I got a 19.
Nice. I got a 20.
No.
I'm writing it down.
I hope our podcast audience appreciates all these subscriptions. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can go to nerdsmith.org/support and
Indeed.
subscribe.
Yep, yep, yep.
You don't have to subscribe here. You won't get a song there, but I'd be glad to send you one
We'll sing a song quietly to ourselves, to
Mhm.
you, across the internet.
every
if you
single
subscribe.
time. And
Yep.
we will mentally teleport it into your brain. Wait, no, teleport would be
Welcome
physical.
to
We don't want to do that.
Shenanigans.
We would telepathy it into your brain. If we teleport something,
We
into your
show
brain,
up
you'd
in your-
probably die.
Oh god.
Yeah, that would be bad. All right, I have the order. Adelaide's up first.
Selling.
Adelaide, so this large fern-like plant creature is coming, descending upon you. Its leaves are starting to kind of, as it comes down, one of these long stems, all of the leaves are starting to like curl or almost close from the tip all the way down as it comes around you, like it's going to try to grapple you. What do you do?
Oh fuck that noise. I would like to dodge that or not get hit with that.
Do you want to actively dodge for your turn? That gives you that gives them disadvantage on their attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to destroy the plant. I was supposed to be giving a sample. So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right, so you actively dodge this round. You start to just bob and weave around. Hopefully, the plant won't hit you. Who's next?
Bonnie and
Bonnie.
Merrick's on deck.
Bonnie is going to get up next to the plant and use a dagger to take a quick cutting as it's closing and distracted for Adelaide.
Okay, so you wanna run up to it and do an attack to just get a little clipping.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me an attack.
Alright.
Make that attack roll.
I'm not making cool 6 sound effects at the moment.
Darn.
And maybe I should have because that's a 13.
A 13 hits.
Oh shit!
Big creature.
It's bolted to the floor. I mean,
Alrighty.
No, there's only so much you can do.
It was freshly watered, so it's really weighed down in its pot.
So that is 5 points. Oh, sorry. No, I rolled the wrong die. That is
Sorry.
10 points of damage to
Nice. So
as
you
I try
clip
to-
off a fairly large clipping.
Here.
Fortunately, you can only get so much. Kind of
Thank
throw
you.
it towards Adelaide there, who dodge and weaves and catches it as they spin around and continue to dodge and weave, hoping to avoid that. Arthur, is Arthur next? No, Merrick, I'm sorry.
Have we gotten what we wanted to get? Because we should probably not just kill things wantonly.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I'll cover your retreat. I would like to. Can I don't know, give aid? Like to just kind of
You
cover
want to try to
like the next person.
distract it and
Sure.
keep its attention, and it's probably less likely to hit you anyway while you're dodging and weaving. I'm okay with that. Give me a taunt roll. You can do it with intimidation Or, well, how else would you do that? Just charisma, I guess. Persuasion, maybe?
Persuasion. I like that one.
Yeah, persuasion. Go for that.
That is a 17 on the die for 22.
So yeah, so you've as you do that, and Adelaide's kind of dodging, weaving away. It's kind of moved its attention towards you, and several of its stems are swinging around and heading towards you now. Who's next, Val?
Plant is up, followed by Arthur.
All right. Boo. That's a 7. I don't think that's going to hit Merrick as the stems slam onto the ground next to you as you jump out of the way, and I'm done.
Is it actively moving, or can we just kind of step
All
back?
of its stems are, but it only has so much of a reach. You could just step back. You can just move out of its range.
Okay. And that's what it appears Merrick is trying to do?
Correct. But we're helping Adelaide and Bonnie get out of there as well.
I will assist in that as well. I will help Merrick.
Okay. Daisy chain going on. Love it.
Val's last in the turn order. She's gonna pretty much do the same thing. She's just backing everybody up, trying to usher everyone else out of the way, and prepared to heal someone in case they get injured by the plant.
Got it.
Could heal the plant.
No.
I have mending, but I'm pissed.
All right. So so that's fine. There's nothing else you're going to do but try to get away. Then you can just get kind of back away from it as it kind of just slams its ferny stems down on the ground a few more times. After a short while, realizing it can't reach you, it stops and just kind of goes back to its pose.
Plants really don't like you.
Nature.
Pet them.
So, given that just happened, I would advise not breaking any rocks.
Yeah, we should be cautious.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Adelaide's sort of petulantly but carefully folding the leaf into the...
Then what? Where are you putting that book?
Put the book into my book bag.
Okay.
Well, let's continue. See what we can. Is there any sort of I might have missed it while I was downstairs. Any sort of like high ground that we can see, or is it all just like vast open plains?
There's no mountains or hills that you can really see. You just kind of see like this large grass, and then it kind of anywhere you kind of look ends in some sort of plant-like structure. So it's either or plant, I guess is like silhouette is what I was thinking, because it's off in the distance. So you're seeing either large brush or something like that. You don't really see any rocky outcroppings.
Too bad none of us can talk to plants.
Yeah.
I can talk to them. They just can't understand me.
Fair.
And if they do, I'm not allowed to eat them.
That's probably a good rule of thumb.
So, this all kind of looks very similar. I've not spent a good deal amount of time outside of the city. Times that I have spent it with you or with my family members. So, how do we find our way back to that hole that we got into this place from?
We head south.
Perfect.
That's a good point, though. We probably should have left some sort of trail behind us, in hindsight. My chalk is useless. It got all wet.
I mean,
I guess we could put the sludge on the trees, but they might fight us, apparently.
I could put on my boots and make interesting tracks. Maybe.
That
Right.
might work.
Sure.
At least from here.
And we just follow the tracks back? Sure.
Something that wouldn't exist here.
Well, I don't really get much of a choice of what it would be. It's going to be a humanoid of some sort, but we'll see what they end up looking like.
Make sure you see, but to make the boots, the boot marks, you're gonna have to like stamp hard on the grass. I feel like the grass is gonna get mad at you.
And we can track just the broken grass that we've done this far.
You've also just traveled north so far.
I think Arthur might have a thought there. I have a pocket watch, not a compass.
We do have a compass, though, don't we?
We do have a compass, but it won't tell us anything other than where the other one is.
Maybe it'll lead us back to the hole in order to get back to the other compass.
I mean, that does at least give us a definite direction.
Maybe
That's
we should
true.
use that.
All right. Adelaide's going to look at the compass and see where it's pointing currently.
As you pull out the compass and open it, there is no compass. It is just a brilliant, shining light.
Like, I open it and it's
like
light,
like somebody replaced the compass face with the brightest flashlight you've ever seen, like a freaking spotlight from a theater.
Okay, that's not helpful. Interesting, not helpful.
Try again.
Oh,
Adelaide will turn the compass
Wait.
towards Arthur and open it.
It's very bright. You can
Wait.
use it like a flashlight.
you guys, didn't they say that this compass does different things on different planes?
And this would perhaps count as a demiplane of some sort, or a pocket
Right.
dimension. All right.
So it's not going to point towards Robin here. I don't know what this is other than really blindingly bright, but
Oh, but on the upside, he can't yell at me because we're not on the same plane of existence right now. That's, silver lining. All right, I'll just hold on to it then, I guess. So I'll put it in her pocket, not in the book bag.
Well,
book.
maybe because plants require sunlight to grow, right? Maybe it will help the plants grow. Maybe they'll be nicer to us.
We'll try it next time we try to pull a fast one on a plant.
Sure, I'm just kind of spouting off the cuff here.
No,
Not
it's
really
fair.
sure.
Arthur, do you want to try and use your flight ability to get up a little higher and see if you can see any like ruins of a temple or anything?
Sure.
Hey,
All right.
Logan.
Yes.
While they're doing that, can I cast Identify on the compass now? See if I get something different for what it can do?
Sure.
If you don't mind if I just take a minute.
Or 10.
nope, that's fine. He's going to be flying around
No, I
for
mean,
a
I
while.
have a spell slot
Oh.
for it. Yeah. Because I'm impatient. So she'll pull out an owl feather and a pearl that she had in her coat pocket, and cast Identify on the compass.
Does that consume the pearl?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It has a gold value rather than a consume.
I don't think that's.
It
It'll
says
say if it
it would
consumes
say
Yeah.
which consumes during the spell. Yeah.
because it's like I was going to say there's a gold value on diamonds and they get consumed.
Which then is consumed is the
Yeah.
second part of that.
That's what I was asking. All right, so Arthur.
I'm looking around for a feather on the ground from one of the dinosaurs. No?
No, but you do see one of those large chicken-like creatures, ostrich-like creatures nearby. You can get a.
All right, I'm going to try to do that because I don't currently have a feather in my inventory, and I needed that in order to fly. So I'm going to
All
go
right.
walk over.
If you give me a minute, Arthur, you can have mine.
We'll see how this ostrich-looking
Does it-
thing goes.
All right.
Does it have to be
Have
a
fun.
natural feather or something that's from a?
Any bird.
You don't have a spell focus?
Well, no, I was just thinking.
I do.
Not to quash the fun, but those things do look a little dangerous. Merrick is going to draw an arrow from his pack and pluck one of the quills off of the arrow.
Sure. Yeah, that'll work.
All right. And what am I looking for, Bonnie? A temple of the dog?
Yeah,
Okay.
any sort of temple. Good thinking there.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and cast Fly, hug myself.
Okay.
Be careful.
So as you hug yourself and cast Fly, you start to take to the sky and you start to float up. And as you do, you start to see over the landscape, and you see this landscape goes on for a very long direction in every direction. You see just an immensely large field, these plains. They just go on and on and on. And there's scattered forests and water. And you see many, many dinosaurs. You see many flying dinosaurs and creatures. You see more of these ostrich-like creatures, but with more colorful feathers, just in massive herds, flocks, or whatever, just running in these groups, 30, 40, 50 of them all at once. And some individual groups here and there, just all over. You don't see anything structured. You don't see anything man-made.
Okay. How about hills or mountains? Is there anything in the
Nothing
you
like
said
that.
it was all
It's just
fields?
continual plains in every direction.
All right.
With the scattering of these trees and things, but you wouldn't call them forests. You would just call them just trees on this plain.
Food. Plant, they're food. All right, so that lasts for 10 minutes, and I won't go too far so I don't get lost, but
Okay.
Head back.
Adelaide, so you, after identifying this this device, this compass, you learn that it produces light.
Like sunlight?
You
kinda
would say
sunlight?
yes. It has the equivalency of the daylight spell, but it's more focused. Thank you,
Okay.
Papless. That's Riley. Thank you, Riley.
All right. Okay. And it just does that. All right. That's useful, I suppose, if we end up somewhere dark.
Yeah.
All right. She'll pop the pearl back into her pocket and just hold on to the compass. Closing it.
So Arthur, as you're coming down, give me a perception check.
Oh my, we've got a new subscriber.
Thank you, Riley.
Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love that you subscribe. Mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe.
And thank you again, Riley.
Thank you for the subscription. Yes, that happens every time. Different songs. Yep.
4.
For what?
That's my perception check.
Oh, got it. All right. So yeah, you come back down. So you, after looking around a bit, there's nothing that really catches your eye too much, except there is one area off to the west that doesn't seem to have as much of vibrancy as the rest of it. It's like almost like it's less colorful there. That's probably the only way you can describe it.
Bonnie, I didn't see anything. There's large groups of animals that may or may not attack us at any given point, just like anything else here.
Well, I appreciate you looking. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
If it wasn't. What if this whole
There's
thing is a temple?
no hills, no temples, no nothing. It's just plains. There's the only thing that I saw that was different was to the west is a less vibrant area.
What if we're in one of the planes?
Hey, I heard you liked planes, so I put a plane inside your plane.
I mean, it's not impossible, Bonnie, and what you said earlier about this possibly all being the temple. I mean, we don't know what's happening here, so I guess it's possible the entire mountain thing that we're inside could be some kind of temple.
Did we establish a temple to whom?
No, he just said it was a temple.
What?
They didn't know.
All right. I'm starting to get a nature god vibe, though.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Gardens, the animals, the she'll pop open the compass
I
a little bit.
believe-
The sun.
I believe they specifically said that this place was the temple.
Okay.
The temple that they couldn't get into because of the air.
Oh.
Ah,
So
sorry, I didn't
they
quite catch
call
that.
this mountain a temple. Well, it was only now that I'm remembering back to what we're saying, and as you said that, I believe that you're right. I think that is what they said, is that the entrance that they brought you to was the entrance to what they call the temple. Is this place?
Got it.
Right. So we head west then. That's the only thing that looks
We
different.
might as
Sounds
well.
good.
I mean, like you said, if it's
Absolutely.
what looks different, then we should try there first.
Would you like to head back to where we started and then head west?
From where you were, Arthur, if you could fly again later, you don't think that you'll have that much of a problem finding. There's a lot of very distinctive landmarks around, so you're not sure you're going to have a problem finding your way back as long as you can fly again.
Okay.
I'm trying to make it not a big thing because it doesn't need to be.
All right. So
That's all.
it's getting lost is not
I'm
going to be
not gonna
a
be getting
huge
lost,
thing.
no.
Is what? Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I just didn't want that
Off
to
we
be
go.
a big thing we worried about. So you head off in that direction. As you guys head off in that direction, there are very often large groups of these creatures, dinosaurs, these birds and things that get in your way. Not that they're like stopping you; they're just there. Do you try to push through them? Do you try to sneak past them? Do you just go around them, which will delay your trip a little bit? What do you do?
I want to pet him.
God damn it.
Pet the dino.
I think there was a scroll about this too.
Bonnie has no impulse control. Sorry. Neither does Tessa.
I mean, if Bonnie goes to pet a dinosaur, Adelaide's gonna try to stop her.
I thought
I wanted the one with teeth.
I thought
just,
we-
you know.
If I don't get to pet a plant, you don't get to pet a dinosaur.
The plant wanted to pet you. You didn't let it.
I don't think it's a good idea.
We don't know which ones well, they probably don't see people down here. We don't know which ones are going to try to eat us.
Every once in a while, you
That
get kind of a
one-
side eye from one, and it just kind of like turns away from you.
It's been my experience that all animals are opportunistic carnivores if given the need. So
I would
That's
think
not-
if
that's
they
not
were
tempt fate.
dangerous, they would have charged us. But no, okay.
maybe they're only dangerous when you try to touch them.
It
Well,
it could also
wiggle their ears.
it could also be that they just don't know what we are. So I don't know.
There's that. I am shaped like a friend.
So my question still
Yes, you
stands. Whoa.
What was the question?
Whether we go
We should
through
go
them
around
or
them.
around them or
I'd say go around.
Okay.
I think I would
So
go
you have to
around.
do that several times to kind of duck and weave between these groups of these creatures. One thing you don't ever seem to see is any meat-eating animals. They all seem to be omnivores. Doesn't mean they're not opportunistic. Doesn't mean they're not, herbivores. Doesn't mean they're not omnivores. But there's no one like tearing the flesh off of another dinosaur or anything like that. You also don't see anything dead. There's no dead. Everything is very clean. There's not a lot of plant droppings. There's not a lot of leaves and things around. There are some here and there, but just not a lot. There's actually
Magical
a technical
place where
term
all
for
the
it. I don't know
poop
what
just
it's
goes.
called. So yeah, that's what you see. But so as you start to get to this area, you start to notice that the color, as Arthur described, it feels very muted here. As you start to look around, there's no animals. as you kind of come over to this area. And the plants, while still here, just kind of like their color's just fading. Like it's just becoming more and more muted. They're not vibrant. They're not pretty anymore. But even though it's still just as bright here.
Is it a fine line where?
No, it just kind of happens gradually. You're probably, a ways
Okay.
into it before you notice it. And then you kind of look back and go, yeah, okay, it's kind of the same. And then you kind of go back a little bit and you see.
It was
Is
more
there
distinct
any-
from the sky, but as you were
Yeah.
on the ground
Well,
close
down
to
here
it,
you
it
can
just kind
definitely
of
tell.
fades.
It's just hard to see the transition. But once you're in it, you're like, oh yeah, definitely.
Does that transition coincide with any sort of decrease in the amount of light these plants
Nope,
are getting?
It's just as vibrant here. As a matter of fact, it still feels overhead, even though you've been walking for about 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Adelaide, shine the light on one of the plants.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right. She reaches into her pocket, pulls the compass out, and opens it and directs it at one of the more subdued looking plants.
Okay, you start to direct it at those plants. Nothing seems to happen. If you hold it there for a while, though, the plant starts to almost lean. Like if you hold it for about a minute or so, it starts to lean towards the light a little bit, like it's almost bending or arcing. But it takes a long time for that to happen. So if you hold it on a patch of grass, it just they all just start slowly kind of leaning that direction.
All right. I mean, that's fair. But she closes the compass. All right. So no, thank you. Just
Is worth a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Should we keep looking through this area?
Yeah.
It does continue to get more and more muted up ahead, you can tell. In this area, there's a lot less trees. There's more just kind of this grassy plains.
I wonder what's causing it.
Or the opposite, something causing the overgrowth, and we're just getting further away from that.
There we are.
It's hard to say because we don't know anything about this place.
Onward we go, then.
What if that light up there is not the sun, but the pearl thing?
Was said earlier, I think.
I said that.
Yeah, by me, I was just by a couple of us.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
Could be.
If it's
I'm
meant to
not
be
flying
sort of
to
the,
it.
No, I understand.
if it's meant to sort of be the epicenter of power, don't be the pearl.
Well, first I need to polymorph into a moth, and then I'll fly.
And then we'll never see you again.
You'll see just a ball of fire just.
From the moment this conversation starts curving in that
Like the
direction,
blades of grass.
Adelaide just looks aggravated. Just like, I swear, if the choice is between getting this pearl and killing an ecosystem,
We get the pearl.
Would I do that? That would be horrible.
That would be kind of par
Would-
for the
would
course
you
for what
give
we've
us-
dealt
would
with.
you give us a weird moralistic choice? I can't imagine.
Yeah, how would that happen?
I would never. do
Sorry.
that.
Yeah, it's
That's meta
not
discussion.
like
Sorry.
you would, stick one of your characters
I don't
trapped
know.
forever, eternally surviving all by herself.
Hold on a second. Stupid figuring out things and write a new story. Sorry.
And so Adelaide just rolls her eyes and just keeps walking. Fine, let's see what's at the end of this direction, and
Well,
then
Adelaide,
we'll worry
what-
about it later.
Okay, I was gonna suggest maybe sending Winford up.
Winford is an octopus right now. Do you want an hour and 10 minutes? I thought we were gonna have an underwater
Send him up.
adventure, and I
40
poorly.
bad, just keep launching
Yeah.
him. Check it out, Winfred.
Merrick, put him on an arrow.
You start boloing him around.
I mean, he's not even present right now, but when Bonnie suggests it, Adelaide snaps and just an octopus lands on her shoulder.
And starts to slide off.
I
Like,
meant turning him
clings,
back
but
into
its
the
head is
owl
like
first,
flopped.
but
I need about an hour 10
I
to
understand.
do it. I'm
Don't
not
you-
opposed. It just seemed like some time.
Don't you need incense?
It was just a suggestion.
I do.
Yes, start a fire here, please.
But
Only you can
So green.
stop interplanar
Sort
forest
of.
fire.
Well, let's just keep
I do.
looking for now and see what we find here. And if we don't find anything interesting, we can go back the other way and see if there's something in the middle of the green area.
So
Just to
I think you guys have still
confirm,
been
because
walking with, even
Yep.
though still. Go ahead. Just
make the octopus go away. Just to confirm, based on Merrick's talking point, I did like subtract a bunch of gold from my person before we started this arc for like the ingredients she would need to do spells. But you also said all of our stuff got ruined in the water, so I don't know if I have charcoal and incense to be able to cast.
we'll have to figure that one out. That
Can
one,
we figure it out now? Because I'd like to do that
do you
now.
need- Well, you just said you were going to continue walking, or are you stopping? So
Well, that's what I was asking about. Do you all want me to? The question was, would we even be having the conversation about casting the spell if all my ingredients were ruined? That's sort of where the question's coming from. Like, I wouldn't even pitch it if I didn't have the stuff.
It just needs to dry out.
incense, I don't know, dries out. I mean, that you'd have to bake it basically.
And I'm playing nice that I only figured out the book trick like after we got down here. So
Yeah,
I don't
would
have
say
suddenly
that,
all these ingredients.
We did say you had the book, but we specifically said what you had in the book at that time.
I'm gonna start doing
so
that more often. but-
I'm going to say that. Well, the book only has so much space, but you could do more books. I'm going to say, unfortunately, it was ruined. We said pretty much everything was wet, very specifically, because you guys really didn't know how to prepare for this. Nobody said they were preparing or sealing anything. So yeah, I'm going to say it is ruined. So.
Oh God, the violin.
It got waterlogged. It's sealed with it's going to be oil sealed, but yeah, it's probably got waterlogged as well.
That's really not good
Every
for-
adventure, we're going to
yeah.
destroy your musical instrument. You got to get a new one.
Yep. Pretty
I have
much.
to get you a magic one.
then the spoons.
Yeah.
That violin. Mm. Mm. Anyway, sorry, we got off track. Let's go forward.
I mean, it's still playable.
It's like, hey,
It's
I
kinda
want to go swimming with a
swollen.
Stradivarius. Let's just go do that.
Oh God. All right.
Anyway,
So we keep walking.
I think we're going to have to play that off. The idea is you guys didn't know what the magic would cover and what it wouldn't. However, Bonnie has been around the ocean and is literally you're only half water elf.
Yeah.
So
I'm half seal.
give me an intelligence check. I'm going to give you one check to save your violin.
just noting for the future then. Oh God.
Nope.
4.
It was like right as you jumped in the water up top, you're like,
Oh shit.
this isn't going to be good.
Yeah. I have an intelligence and wisdom modifier of 0.
Oh,
so.
and we determined you did need to take the potion. That's right. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
we did.
So you're not sure what the magic would have covered, and Robin
Mhm.
was not really big on details, and you guys don't want to clarify with him
Yeah.
for God's sake.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, those things do get ruined. All right, let's get back
So-
to it. So you guys,
While we're walking, sorry, I just want to say this. Like everybody's kind of doing something. I'm just playing with the blacksmith puzzle, just kind of trying to figure out if I can like figure something out with it while we're walking.
Okay. All right. We determined it takes a while to figure something out, so I'll have to work on that. I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, you're basically fiddling with your little Rubik's cube like puzzle. Thank you, Arthur.
Where is the pearl?
I really don't remember what that item does.
It tells me answers.
It's
It's fine. It was more a prop that I had. That everybody
Oh,
was doing.
look, and you found a gold on the ground.
We did.
Ooh.
Bonnie, that'll buy you a new violin. Oh no.
No, it won't. But thank you.
But we continue walking. So
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, let's see here.
I don't know what instrument I was just miming playing, but
You were pretty close.
it was
It's a
very
balalaika.
odd shaped. Little bulbous. Curve.
Looked like you were playing a little Russian balalaika.
Mm.
All right. So are you actually pulling out your goodie catcher?
Sure.
So as you pull out, what was it called again?
It was the cootie.
I thought it had an actual thing.
No, it was a cootie catcher, I think.
I thought there was an actual name for it. So you start to play around with it, and you notice that as you start to flip through it, inside, it's around the edges. It's no longer what it was before. It's now designs of these like mermaids swimming around with little starfish and clownfish and things. And as you flip around to the inside, you see that the mermaids are swimming kind of on the insides of these faces too, and they're either heads or tails as you flip through it. Do you choose heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay. And what did you ask specifically?
Where's the plural?
Okay. So you do Tails, and then so it's after that it is heads. So you do HEADS. You flip open the little thing, and inside it says blue. And so then you do boo, BLUE, and then you flip, and you finally flip out and over, and your answer is roll a d20.
Very strange answer.
13. And I'm not skilled in cootie catching.
thank goodness.
And says, as I see it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I just put it away. This thing is used.
Well, you do need to ask yes or no questions, I think, is part of the...
I just now realized it, and as I put it away, I'm like, yeah, I'll remember that next time.
Next time. Alrighty. So you guys continue on. As you're walking, the grass is getting like longer and thicker to the point where up ahead it's about 7-8 feet tall, and you're gonna have to start kind of moving through it. But you see kind of at the edges of this, the only creatures that seem to come into this area are those large bird-like creatures, and they're kind of wandering around in there as well.
I think that we need to be a little bit careful. Perhaps
All right.
cassowary.
Boo.
I enjoyed that. Good job. Do you want to be invisible?
Oh no, I'm good at hiding. Just be careful as we go forward.
No petting.
Right.
All right, no petting. I got it.
All right, so you guys start to head through this extremely thick and very kind of a muted green brush. And you start to make your way through. It's slow going, and the grass itself is it's not stiff, but it's also not it's semi-rigid, but it's not sharp or anything. So you just kind of have to kind of push your way through it. You can hear everybody moving around you, but also you hear other creatures moving around you, but you don't see any of them. Who's
Keep
in
moving
front?
forward.
I've probably been leading people. Well, I have been in the past, so I'll be in front.
Okay, so as you move, as you're in the front there, and you continue on, Moving forward, you start to pull some brush aside, and right in front of you, maybe just a few inches, as you pull some of this brush aside to start moving forward, you see just feathers, just beautiful, brilliant blues and greens of the side wing of one of these creatures that is in front of you, but you don't see its head. Nobody can see your hand, but you guys are moving slow enough that you'll see him stop, and then the next person see the next person stop, etc.
I'll take a step backwards.
Okay.
Giant bird.
Wonder if it's sitting on the pearl like an egg.
It's a pretty dumb bird, then.
It's not impossible. How are we going to check?
Someone needs to distract the bird so it moves from where it is.
Caw!
That is the universal bird sound, yes.
Adelaide straight up smacks Merrick in the back of the head.
Merrick, thank you for that.
There's
I
a
love
lot of very strange sort of chirps and honks and these strange weird sounds. Almost sounds like some sort of like, this doesn't sound weird, but rabid geese. As just all of this movement around you, way more than you thought were here. And then after a moment, it all kinds of dies down, but you're not sure if they're nearby or if they've left or what.
Like a bunch of colorful birds in the tall grass with us?
Well, yeah, like you thought maybe there was half a dozen. You're guessing there's probably near you 20 or 30, like right around you. You're surprised you haven't run into more of them at this point.
I'm going to say that they're not all sitting on pearls, so...
Probably not.
No, but that one up ahead might have moved, so we could check it out.
Mm-hmm. I'll step forward
All
again.
right. Arthur, as you start to step forward, it has indeed moved. You can kind of see where it was standing in the brush, kind of bent it down a little bit. And you start to see, you can kind of notice where some of these trails are that you're leaving and a few others are leaving. These other creatures are leaving in the brush, although theirs are much more subtle than yours are. But yeah.
Can I look closer at the tracks that are being left to see what kind of
They're not actually leaving tracks. The ground is not soft enough for that here. I mean, you can give me a survival check actually if you want. Sorry.
Okay.
I forgot you can technically track on solid ground. There's plenty of grass here, so.
17.
So with the 17, you can find where they're going, but they're not actually like the tracks themselves aren't that you can't really see like their footprints in the ground type of thing, but you can tell by where the grass is bent and things, which direction they're going, where they've been, and you could follow kind of their path if you wanted. Not saying you would, or you could avoid it if you wanted. But yeah, you can't quite see their feet.
I was mainly looking to see if there was like claw marks or anything in the ground, if they had been running away. If the ground was
claws, no
getting covered.
talons or anything like that you can see.
Okay. That would have been her concern, that maybe they were like birds of prey like creatures, and that's why she was looking specifically. So okay. Well, there's that.
Yeah, so do we just keep going?
Sure.
Okay. So you guys continue to push through the grass, and you'll have to, you run into several more of these creatures. None of them seem to see you since you're kind of just going slowly. You just kind of end up seeing parts of them up ahead of you. Not as abruptly as that, now that you kind of know what to look for. You can see them a little bit through the grass a little bit better and kind of avoid them as you go around. It does take a while. As you come out as what you're considering the other side of this grass, you step out of the grass. It's like it almost just kind of ends abruptly. And as you're kind of moving forward, you kind of part it, and as you said before, like, was there this line of where the grass starts to change colors? Here, there is a literal line. The grass stops. And from here forward, it's almost like a blasted Badlands. It's just salted and rocky and harsh. Thank you for the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
Oh, this is bad. I don't like this at all.
Adelaide pulls her arrow or her bow out.
Oh, I was thinking the compass again.
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
All right. She slings her bow over her shoulder and grabs the compass and directs it on top of some of the Badlands.
As you point the compass onto the Badlands, everywhere you look with the compass looks green and lush and exactly like things did before. It's almost as if you're casting away an illusion wherever the light hits.
Huh.
But as soon as the light passes, it goes back
It goes
to
back,
the way it
correct.
was.
It's almost like
Okay.
augmented reality.
I acknowledge the illusion and make it go away.
Nope.
Adelaide's gonna kneel down and touch some of the grass, or what would
Where
have been
the
grass.
light is, you can feel it. There's nothing where it is not.
It's almost like the compass is casting true seeing with the light.
Sort of, yeah. As you guys are starting to look at this, anybody paying attention to the surroundings hears some sounds. And across this large Badlands, about 400 or 500 feet away, you see a ship sitting on its side, and people who are in chains being sent up this very large mountain.
Does it look like our ship that we were on?
It is the gigantic.
Found it.
Mm-hmm. Well, save Brindlehoof.
There are others.
You
of
see
them.
Brindlehoof halfway up the mountain in chains.
in 4
In
chains.
4 chains.
And one on his horn.
And one on his horn, yes,
Oh.
absolutely.
He's all rainbow colored, so he probably stands out in the.
But you only see his butt as he is halfway stuck inside the opening of the mountain. And people,
There we go.
and
We
people
just don't
are-
butter him up,
people
and
are
they
trying
won't be able
push
to move
him
any.
through, and they do successfully get him through.
Can we see where people are coming in? Like, can we see the opening that they're
At
coming in?
this point, you see the last of the people starting to kind of go into the mountain here.
So,
Right. So, go ahead.
wait, so I'm trying to picture this geography. So we went through
So in front of you, in the middle, at the far edge of this blasted lands, you see a large mountain, like
Okay.
a huge rocky
That-
mountain.
that part got left out. I'm less confused now.
There are lots of rocky structures all around, and over by the ship, which is lying on its side, right next to this mountain, almost like it was just kind of plopped down there, and tipped on its side. You see all of the people from there in chains, most of them being led up these pathways into this mountain and into a cave.
So all of the people that were
You see
there
about 30
outside
people.
of
You're
the mountain are
assuming it's
being led.
everyone.
Okay.
You haven't seen everyone, but it's about 30 people.
Does anybody recall why they were, what their intent was with the slaves?
They're trying
So-
to find the same pearl we are.
Okay, that's what I thought. So they may seem to think it's in that mountain.
We could go to the ship and get some food and maybe tidy up a bit and then head inside the mountain.
Didn't Reef say they were in the wrong place? That they were checking the wrong place? Or is
Yeah.
this a new location?
Reef said that they were going through the wrong entrance to the temple, I thought. That it would take them a really, really long time to get into the temple going the way they were going.
Right.
So maybe they haven't figured out yet how to get back that way. And she points behind us.
But this whole area is the temple. So it appears that they've made it into the temple now.
Unless they don't get it. Maybe they think there's another temple inside the temple? I don't know.
Well, I have my
It's very
concerns about
strange.
not focusing on the fact that there's hostages now we're dealing with. I think I would rather just assume they found a way in and deal with them.
I agree with you.
Yeah, we need to get those people out.
All right, then what do we do?
I can make one of us not appear visible.
I could.
2 if we're lucky. But it's only going to last an hour.
To be very clear, there are
please.
no Sahuagin. You haven't seen any of them.
They're just going through the motions as slaves, and they don't seem to be
You're not
being...
sure, but you do not see the Sahuagin. The swaggers. You
Sahuagin.
don't see any swaggers.
Maybe we should go and...
Let's get closer.
Yeah, let's do some reconnaissance.
All right. So after about another 15 minutes or so, you are up to the ship, the Gigantic, which is ridiculously large even on its side. But it seems unharmed otherwise.
Merrick.
Yep.
You're probably the best suited to go snooping around. Would you like to
Sure.
be the one that goes closer?
Sure, I can do that.
Do you want to be invisible as well?
Sure, why not? Couldn't hurt.
Right. Just,
Would you like a piece of candy? I have a piece of taffy left.
No.
Hmm.
I'm fine.
Right. Okay. And Bonnie will reach out her hand to Merrick. And she'll cast invisibility on him.
All right.
This is strange. All right. I'm gonna go in through where we left. Through the crew deck, because we had a rope, right? We left a rope.
So you're going back. You're going inside the ship. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's on its side, so you're climbing up into the ship sideways, basically.
Yep. That'll be the
Okay.
first place that I go.
Where are you trying to go?
The kitchen first. I said
Okay.
we're gonna go get food because we did not bring any food with us.
All right. So you head over to the kitchen. It's been about 2.5 hours since you've eaten, so that sounds about right. Arthur's starving. So you go and head to the kitchen. You're there. Takes you about 20 minutes to get to the kitchen, climbing through sideways.
All right. Let me see what this does.
I love that. Let's see what this does.
I'm gonna drink my potion of climbing. When you drink this potion, you gain a climbing speed
Thank you,
equal to your
Matthew.
walking
That is
speed
very,
for 1
very
hour.
nice. That is a spin the wheel. Who would you like to spin the wheel?
God
I don't
damn
have
it.
an NPC there, so who would you like to spin the wheel? Merrick.
Merrick, spin the wheel!
Of course, he's the only
All
one doing
right.
anything, so that's good.
Hold on. Here we go. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this again. Fade that
Merrick's-
over.
Ready for
Click
the
the button.
noise.
Here we go. Wheel.
He's
of
in the kitchen
causality.
and he says,
Turns
"Let's see what this
a
does."
round, and we're not doing anything. Bam!
Oh boy.
Bam! What is bam?
That might work out well, actually. I don't know.
Oh,
Bam?
no.
I don't think so. Let's see.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
do you get a taste of your own medicine? What you did to Brindle's?
Alrighty, Merrick, roll me a d4, please. Actually,
Okay.
in this situation, roll me a d12.
Oh boy.
Because we're more in 3 dimensions here, because you're climbing in the middle of the ship.
Let's do that's a 6.
You did that on purpose.
People on the podcast, that's not one of our donation
As you're climbing
noises.
up through the ship here, and you are you're like just getting into the kitchen, you just feel kind of warm tingle from your badge, and you just blink out of existence for a moment and reappear inside of like a wardrobe closet, and your face is smushed up against something, and you've got all these clothes against you, and you're not sure what's going
Try to find my way to the door, rattle the door.
on. Give me a sleight of hand check.
There's snow
Okay.
everywhere,
Uh-oh.
and you see a
And a lamppost.
And a
There's no.
And
Oh, that's
the wardrobe starts to walk away.
What is Turkish delight? It's a 26.
So 26.
Dwarfish
Okay.
nightmare.
So you start to fiddle with the handle, and with that roll, I'm gonna say you first start to reach one way, and you start to like fiddle with something like tiny, and you're like, oh, maybe that's it. And you're like, wait, that might be the screw holding it to the wall. Okay, hold on, let's go back this way. All right, there it is. And you get the doors to pop open, and you fall down across the room, catching yourself probably as several things fall out of the wardrobe, including the thing that you had your face smushed up against, which is Dax, the sketch of Dax naked. So you just had Dax like pressed up,
Dak? Yeah.
Dax, like pressed right up against your face there. And yeah, you're pretty sure it was his junk. Just like smushed right against your face. So enjoy that.
How
lucky are
photorealistic
you?
was the drawing?
Oh, it was very well done. Yes, it was. They definitely spent some time with it. She was very skilled with a pencil.
Catching all the details.
All the details.
What medium was it that she was
Charcoal.
using?
So you now have an imprint of Dak.
Perfect question.
Kind of
Perfect question.
a
dactic tat.
Yeah.
Good thing you're
But
invisible.
I know you're not quite sure of that. You just feel like charcoal on your face.
Oh, there's just a
And there's
floating
still a
Floating charcoal
like, this
dick?
very light purple like splotch. The one that hasn't gone away is like just right, perfectly placed there.
Beautiful.
But you realize you're about maybe 30 feet, but one floor over from the kitchen. After you get your bearings.
Right. So there's no one here. Right. So let's go. Doesn't seem. Make my way back towards the kitchen. Might as well grab like some picnic basket or something. I don't know what they might have that I could take down with me.
There's plenty of things here to move food in. So you start grabbing some food.
I will grab the requisite food and beverage for our party.
Hey there, Merrick, and your picnic back.
So you make your way
But
out.
the
Takes about another
Sahooligans.
25 minutes or so. So you got about 15 minutes left on your invisibility, I believe. Lasts for an hour, right? Okay. So yeah, you come out with your picnic basket for Merrick.
I've made excellent use of my resources. So here we are, and here's lunch, and I'm going to make my way inside of the mountain. This floating picnic basket. What has occurred?
Merrick,
I'm not.
could you
Merrick's invisible.
please read? I think you mean what's in.
Right. What's in chat? I don't understand.
It's just.
Well, the podcast.
I'm not.
Too.
I can't watch Twitch.
Make him.
Hang on, I will put it in the group chat so you can say it.
Well, we should say
Yes.
it out loud because the podcast is dry. It's going to go crazy if we don't.
Making my way to the kitchen, walking fast, charcoal's pressed on dick face.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
The charcoal did indeed rub off on his face.
Yes, it did. Absolutely.
Oh, Riley, you have
And it was a
contributed to the
perfect-
show. Thank you.
And thank you, Matthew, for the $15 donation. Really appreciate that. Hopefully
Really
that was a
enhanced
good. That was a good wheel. I like that one. There's a couple of others. I can't wait for some of these other ones to come. They're so good. I have to start donating myself after we move. All right.
There's that.
I think the pearl
So
is in the sky.
I love it. I love it.
Brindle hooves, where is that guy?
So you start to make your way up to the mountain. With your climbing ability, you're able to get there much faster than just walking up the path. So we'll say you still have like 5 minutes of your invisibility left by the time you get up there. And you start to kind of peek your way in. And as you go in, there's a little bit of a winding path, not much, but right as you kind of come towards the end of this path, you see that there's this large sort of like circular room way up at the top. There seems to be actually some sort of fabricated, like carved room in the in this temple, but underneath, all the walls look broken. You can see where there may have been some pathways and some like the remnants of stairways or something, but it all seems like it's crumbled, and there's just a huge pit full of rubble, just so many pieces of stone and things. And the passengers are all sitting there using tools and things to break up these rocks and start to dig into this pit, trying to get through all of these rocks.
Can I spot Dak?
Sure, yes. You can probably see all of them here. They're all in this one big room.
Just look in a mirror.
You can't, he's invisible.
So Merrick is gonna kind of sidle up next to Dak.
So you're gonna go down into the pit.
Sure.
Okay. All right. But by the time you get down in the pit, your invisibility is going to wear off. You're pretty sure of that. You only had 5 minutes from when you came to the cave entrance.
Okay.
So it's probably okay.
I rely on my natural stealthy capabilities in order to figure my way out.
There's a lot of people down here. There's a couple hundred people down here, and it is a fairly big pit. There's not really a lot of places to hide amongst these people, considering you'd be the only one running around without chains on.
Well, so I'm gonna make like I am using a tool to dig through the rubble, and like be next to Dak.
We're going to say that right as you get there, that's when the invisibility is going to kind of wear off as you start to kind of fade back into existence. You start to talk to Dak. What do you say?
I think I was in your closet.
As you start to speak to him, Dak kind of turns and looks at you, and he's kind of blank faced. As a matter of fact, his eyes are like faded in color. Like there's almost missing color in them. Considering you got a good look at his eyes a couple times. And he picks up his axe like he's going to start swinging it at you.
Right. I'm going to scupper off that way, and bye.
As you start to back
Tutty
up,
bye.
you see that several of the other people have turned to look at you, almost like, not like they're thinking, almost like magic. They just turn and realize that you're not supposed to be there.
None of us are supposed to be here.
One of these things is not like the other things.
One of these things
Nope.
is dick.
Merrick is going to so the
As you move
invisibility
away
potion
from
is
them,
right.
they seem to go back to work,
Yeah.
though. So they don't follow you if you leave.
I will try to make my way back out to report on this.
All right. You make your way out. There's no Sahuagin here. It's just these people, and you can see why they don't need to be here. They've somehow, maybe the chains themselves have enchanted them to do it. Brindlehooves is over there pulling a cart to kind of move rocks away down some other paths to drop them wherever they're dropping them.
All right, guys.
So he comes running down, climbing down the mountain, gets over to you, and has this huge charcoal print on the side of his face.
Did you go to
So-
the fair?
So no, I was in a wardrobe of some sort. There was a sketchbook, but that's beside the point.
Exciting sketchbook.
It was, it was exciting. Sure. Definitely the height of it was enthralling. Speaking of enthralled, a lot of the actually all of the passengers are down in the pit. They seem to be just
out of sorts. They didn't seem to recognize me, and they're just trying to carve through a stone temple of some sort.
Like they're being controlled somehow.
I don't know. You tell me. I'm not a magician.
I mean, that does sound a bit like some sort of mind control-esque magic. I mean, that would make
did
sense.
not
We haven't
seem
seen
himself.
any of the guards
Magician
around. They don't need to be
is
around.
considered offensive. They're called wizards.
Well, depends. If they anyway.
You can call me a magician, Arthur. It's okay. But yeah, we
That's
haven't seen the
awful.
guards around, so
They may
I
not
assume
need
to-
to be. You're right.
Right. So
so to deal with that, we probably have to deal with whoever caused that. So,
Which, if we get the pearl, then they get the control over the Sahuagin and hopefully can release all the people.
Right.
now we have a bunch of potentially hostile former cruise ship passengers that we have to contend with, whether or not that's sneaking around or temporarily.
Were they
dealing
connected to each other?
by chains? No,
Not
they
together.
were
Just
So
shackled.
we could possibly take one away and
Try and
remove.
He started to behave
Shackles.
rather violently towards me when I was in his vicinity, so it might be dangerous, but not saying it's impossible.
Carefully.
People aren't
Are you all right?
violent when they're unconscious.
I'm fine, thanks. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
actually touch me.
I'm not entirely sure. She pulls out a handkerchief and just kind of wipes some of the charcoal away.
Oh, thanks, love.
You're welcome.
So on the subject of beating up innocent people,
I'd like to
Mhm.
not, if at all possible.
I could try to counter charm whatever they've got going on, or if there's magical, I might be able to undo it.
we could.
What did it look like in there, Merrick? Besides that they're all enthralled.
Well, there was, and he describes the interior of the temple.
So it is a temple.
All right, so they're
It seemed of some significance.
so they went after you. What about if another one of the Sahuagin came around? We've
That-
seen them, right?
from a distance,
Mm-hmm.
That's enough to make a vague impression.
but they've seen the Sahuagin up close, right? Wouldn't they be able to? I mean, it might terrify him if they saw just something that was really all blurry and looked like a fish person.
An out of focus Sahuagin.
It's even more terrifying than an actual Sahuagin.
It's extra scary to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, we're missing a lot of information that would help us figure out what to do next.
Where do we find that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we have to figure out what we're going to do based off of what we've got, and we don't got a lot.
There seemed to be some sort of walkways or something along the
There
outsides.
were. There's no.
Um,
They're all rubble now. It's almost
So
like
they're
the
trying to
center of
dig
this
down.
thing was hollow and now it's filled with rubble.
So maybe if we get to the bottom of the rubble pile somehow, if we were able to move the earth or burrow underneath, perhaps. You've turned into a Stegosaurus. Can you turn into a mole?
I'll get back to you.
Check the book. All right. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is, trying to pull that bullshit off, looking like a blurry. You
Mate,
can do that, can't you, Bon?
Yeah, I
What?
could.
So can I.
what if we were to capture one of them and then shine the compass at them?
Oh.
right? The compass seemed to temporarily undo whatever was going on in the vicinity, so this is very much on a limb here, but maybe maybe it would work.
Maybe.
Try that, sure.
It's
We've got the
should try.
worth a
compass.
shot.
It's
Well,
should-
rather than luring, why don't we...
Just shine the compass into the pit.
I could try that. How far away are we from the pit?
I could make you
Here,
invisible.
200 feet or so. But that's if you went directly through the mountain.
I could make you invisible, Addie, and then you could take it and shine it into the pit without having to worry about being seen.
I can come with you and be real quiet and real stealthy. So
I could do both of you at once.
Or not.
Whoa,
Hey now.
you're an all-star.
She knew what she said.
Actually, I didn't realize it until I said it. The body's not unopposed, but
just Merrick and Adelaide both go.
So, Merrick, I can turn into a mule. Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, well, that's what I can turn
Change
into.
the vowel. Change the...
I've got rat and mule.
Well, I mean, a
Stegosaurus.
rat might be able.
And there are many others in between, but mole is not one of them.
I mean, a rat might be able to squeeze its way under the rubble and see if
You
it,
know
what
what?
there is to be seen.
You know what Angela knows for a fact could do something like that? An octopus.
If it was full of water, maybe.
Octopi
Or at
can
least
fit
wet.
through the tiny little holes in their tanks to get out.
You know, but they're still wet at that point. Halfway through this, they would just be a dry mess.
Let me live in my fantasy.
But it might be able to. I'm
Fantasy
not
game.
going to say no.
I have control
Arthur?
water.
Don't have any water. Ironically.
do you want Arthur? Do you want to become a rat, and then I can make Merrick and Adelaide invisible, and the three of you could go? When you
Sure.
become a rat, do you want to do like rat things when you become a rat, or do you think like Arthur thoughts when you're a rat?
Right. So when you become a rat, do you think like Arthur or Merrick?
How
Rude.
dare?
The voice of God just defended somebody.
Oh, is it me trying to be in character asking if you
It was
maintained your
perfect. No, it was
intelligence stats
It
with
was an
Vine?
excellent way of asking
Well,
in character.
We are
But this is
trespassing on his
shenanigans.
temple. It makes sense he'd be a dick.
It's true.
I bet you don't tip your waitress either.
There is definitely not enough Krispy Kremes here to be my temple.
All right. So let's get back into plan mode. So Arthur turns into a rat. Bonnie makes me and Merrick invisible.
Mhm.
I've got
Rat
I've got
Arthur can
Winfred.
hide.
Winfred could be a lookout. I could just plop him down somewhere, and within 100 feet, I could check if something weird's happening, and we do.
And I'll stay here and make sure that Bonnie doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, because I gotta maintain concentration. It's very important.
And because I'm not sneaky at all.
Neither am I. Well, I mean, I'm a little sneaky, but not as sneaky as Merrick. But Arthur, I'm. Will you? The question still stands. Do you think like you, or do you think like a rat? Because I'm worried that if you become a rat, and you think like a rat, that maybe you won't remember what you're supposed to do.
No, I remember. I can't do much, and I have no use of my items.
Okay, but you remember. You think like yourself.
Hmm.
Okay, excellent. Sounds good.
I would have been worried if there was a Stegosaurus that was perfectly well trained to serve champagne and not knock over tables.
That is true.
Good call.
That just occurred to me, though. It was a good thought.
All right, so That seems as good a plan as any.
Yes,
Just-
I'm going to become a very charming rat.
I don't doubt it. All right. As complicated a plan as I would have expected. Let's try.
Let's make it
they've
fit.
worked out for us sometimes. We might as well try it.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So,
Ratify yourself first and hide in one of their pockets.
Arthur,
That
you
way you
turned
don't have
into a
to-
constitution.
I'm
ratified.
just a bill.
Sorry.
that was good.
Well, that way he doesn't have to find his way into your pockets while you guys are invisible.
Be
That
very
sounds like a
Fair.
good time.
Wait, is he
First
just
the
going to be a
porcupines, now
rat
the
floating
rats,
inside
Logan.
one of their pockets?
Well, he can't turn to a gerbil.
Well, he can't be. No, because it won't. Their clothes will be invisible, so they. Well,
Is-
imagine they're still solid, so it
Just
wouldn't
a
be
floating rat, like.
Well, no, because you can't see inside a pocket if the pocket was
No,
uninvisible.
It'll be.
All right.
You'll be invisible. It's fine.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
You ratify yourself. Jump into whose pocket it might matter. Oh, it has to be Merrick's because Adelaide's clothes don't have pockets.
Okay.
Never
I
mind. It's a
have-
fantasy world.
Pockets?
Women's clothing can have pockets. In it.
Where's the lie,
If there
though?
was ever a hope of Adelaide having
Wow.
any sort of religion, this temple and this dickhead god, it's really not convincing her to do it.
It's what made Marco famous, is putting
Marco.
pockets in
Putting
all of his
pockets in women's
clothing.
clothing. Got it. I love that.
I need a pocket of holding. My dress.
Seriously.
The dress,
Holding.
the dress of holding.
Only women's clothing. can
Thinks
get pockets
it has
in women's
pockets.
It's just
I
called the clutch.
Really want that.
So who?
clothes.
So
I'll hop into Merrick's.
okay.
Right?
Oh God, are you Merrick? Were you saying it's like the fucking hat rack at Willy Wonka factory, where it's just like there's hands in the pocket that grab things that you're trying to put in your pocket?
Ugh.
That's horrible, dude. That's really creepy.
All right. So,
All right,
Uh,
so Arthur jumps into Merrick. Whose pocket? Seriously, I don't care.
Merrick.
Merrick's pocket. You're both turned invisible, and the three of you head up the mountain. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Bonnie and Val, what are you doing down here?
I'm concentrating on my spell.
And I'm protecting her.
All right.
So I'm keeping a lookout.
Merrick, Adelaide, you guys make it to the top of the mountain. Arthur, you're along for the ride. You head into this this kind of windy tunnel that leads back to this larger chamber. And Adelaide, you see at the bottom of this chamber, you see maybe 15 feet down, all this huge pile of rubble in this maybe 40, 50 foot wide pit that looks like it's just broken off pieces from the mountain inside. It looks like it used to be a very narrow sort of pillar of stairs and things, and now it's just completely broken. These huge areas just filled this pit or this hole in the ground with all this rubble. You see the couple hundred slaves, the people from the ship with the chains on, their eyes kind of glossy, lightly like the color's been removed from them, working, breaking apart the rock, carting it away with brindle hooves manning the cart, and that's where you're at. What do you do?
I would like to
Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love that you subscribed. You've tuned in to Shenanigoons, and no one here was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe. So strap in for Shenanigans. You're awesome. You subscribe.
Thank you for the subscription, Rilvis.
thank
Was
you.
it anonymous? It wasn't anonymous. Thank
It
you, whoever's
was.
doing all these anonymous. That's amazing.
Yes.
Somebody really wants to hear all the songs.
Probably.
I think that's all of them.
There's one
no,
more.
I know there's
Is
one
there
more.
Okay.
There is one.
Oh boy. All right.
So we give her random.
The problem with those, I keep forgetting where we are. So
Well, we were at the top of the crater.
Yeah,
West.
it just snuck
Thank you.
in, snuck in invisible with Arthur.
Oh yeah. So what are you guys doing?
Adelaide. I wonder if we can change his name from Brindlehoofs to Bitten Bridlehoof.
Now is not the time.
Sorry.
But that was funny.
Thank you.
I'm checking.
Pocket crumbs.
I think he was trying to talk to them.
I was laughing.
Ah, nice.
So Adelaide. So are we like in the middle of the busyness, or
No, you're
can we get
kind of
to
on a ledge about 15,
Okay.
20 feet above them. There are some like little like rocky ways to get down. Look like they've been chipped away so they could get down and get carts down there and things. There's several places where you could walk down, and it's almost like almost completely flat, just rubble kind of compressed as they're lifting and moving. And as they move rocks, it kind of crumbles down. They're gonna have to remove most of the
Oh,
rubble.
we got another wheel spin.
Matthew, I love
not
you
spinning it.
so much.
I love
Who's
you
it
so
gonna
much.
be?
Arthur, he said Arthur.
Arthur the
Rat.
All right, hold on one second here. Let me get
I love this so much.
Oh no! Who needs plans when you have the wheel of causality?
Mhm.
Wheel of causality.
Turn.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
not an intellectually property. I am intellectual property theft. I didn't mean. All right, let me get rid of the wheel. I am intellectual property theft. I don't know. I don't know what this one.
No.
Me either.
What was the last sentence that you said? That wasn't just you laughing. What was the last thing Arthur in game?
That he was still himself.
That you were
No,
still
I
yourself?
said that I was going to be a very charming rat.
That's right. I'm gonna be
Very
very
charming.
All right.
rat.
So you instantly, all of your fur becomes bark-like, and you gain a little bit of resistance to damage. You get bark skin, and the very last thing that you said is the only thing that you can say for the rest of this scene. So any communication you do has to be, "I am going to be a charming rat," whatever you say.
I am a very charming rat.
I
Oh
am.
my God.
The rat can't.
intellectual property
I mean,
This works out fine. Okay.
theft. Hey, you might not be a rat this whole time.
yeah, okay.
Merrick feels like a weird stiffness in his pocket as the rat turns into bark.
Well,
By the way, the chat
Does his-
command for that one, as soon as we get the commands working, is Groot.
Logan,
In case anybody was
Look at-
concerned.
does his tail turn into a little twig?
It is a twig
This
now,
is a
yes. Your tail is a twig, your whiskers are twigs. You're like a little tiny bark baby.
It's like something you get at a Christmas barn store.
Yes,
Little
exactly.
porcupine mouse.
Yes, it is exactly that.
Thank you for the follow, Rilvus.
Thank you very much for the follow. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Rilvus, you are
God.
amazing.
Okay, so since nothing tremendous
Nothing
occurred,
dramatic changed yet.
okay. All right, Adelaide is going to quietly summon Winford, the octopus, on the ground a couple feet away from her.
Okay.
And she is going to telepathically tell Winford to, camo if you can. Get a little unseeable in the dirt and keep an eye out. Stay here and just don't move.
Okay, give me a stealth check for him.
Okay.
Let's
I
see how
have his
well he
stat.
kind of grabs and slides over to a rock, clings to it, wraps himself in a weird sort of
Okay.
position,
So here's the thing.
and turns pink.
No, I didn't roll yet, but here's the thing. He gets advantage on stealth checks while underwater. He's
Yeah,
technically
not underwater.
Damn it.
No. Just because there's water above him does not mean he's under.
Okay.
And technically here, that's not true because you're in a different dimension,
fine.
different plane of existence. This one's like a 740.
19.
Okay, so he pretty much is gone.
Just shimmers and turns into dirt color.
Get cloaked, son.
So yeah, Adelaide whispers to Merrick, I'll just look through his eyes if anything seems to be going a little screwy. He'll just be sort of a temporary lookout up here. Shall we head down?
And I'm going to be a very charming rat.
Sure.
No!
You can stop that one. All right, so you guys...
It's just little cute bruxing in his pocket.
I don't... That's not what... Yeah, but that close to the mic, it doesn't come like that. All right, so you guys make your way down into this pit. It's not very far. You're down there. You're right next to these people. They don't seem to see you or be able to comprehend you being there, so that's good. While you're invisible, what do you do?
They're gonna see us when we open the compass. Adelaide's going to crouch low on the ground.
Okay.
And try to cup her hands around the compass to block out any of the super bright light, and like open it a little bit to see if it does anything to the rocks underneath. I don't know if it's gonna completely block the light when I try to cup my
you
hands.
can't so what are you trying to do exactly?
Okay, let me see if I can.
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to
try to mime it. Okay, so this is the compass. It opens up, and I'm trying.
Oh, okay, but you still want to be able to see what's
trying to cup my hands to look through. It might be really that might not make any sense.
So that just a very small amount shines out.
Trying to angle it.
It is like a flashlight beam.
Yeah.
So, so here's what happened. The light, and you get down really close. You're just kind of like cupping it up against your face. Although your hands are invisible, you know that, right?
I thought we had just determined that they were still. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but if you were holding a torch, the light would still extend beyond you.
Okay.
So
I don't think about it that way. I just think about it as
it's still a beam of light. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to I mean, there might be a little bit of light, but this place is lit, so it's not going to be. But here's the problem with this.
Of course, there's a problem with it.
As you kind of look down into it, you see the light just as it pops open and it just turns on. The light penetrates down into the rocks, and you see all the way through the mountain. And you can see this large cavern, because it's the entire beam of light, the width of this cone-like beam of light. You see through all of the rocks, down to the ground, and you see grass. And then the walls of all the rubble inside of this start to fall into the light and vanish as well. And the floor starts to shake and fall. Dexterity saves.
I would like to cast Feather Fall on me and Merrick and Arthur.
Okay.
I'm in a pocket. I'm fine.
Hold on.
I need dexterity saves first before you do that.
Okay.
Not you.
I'm living off of Merrick's dex save, so awesome. He's got a good one.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Arthur?
I said I am a very charming rat.
18 for Adelaide.
18. Okay, so you were able to hold on to the compass.
Oh, good. Good.
And you stay on your feet.
Okay.
Well, you're crouching anyway.
I closed my character sheet.
That was silly. We have 12 minutes of class left. Bring out your books and get them open to page 384. I don't remember the number.
I'm going.
397.
It's 18.
Woo!
18. So you also stay on your feet. Most of the other people who are not just off carting rocks and stones off are not as lucky. They all slip and fall. Adelaide, you have enough time to cast Featherfall, so you are not falling at the speed of the rocks. What do you do, though? I assume after you cast Featherfall, you're not gonna. What are you gonna do with the compass?
I'm going to. I cast Featherfall, and then I'm going to shine it. I don't know how to do this right. I was trying to figure out if I.
You're gonna keep pointing it down, though.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. So as you continue to point it down, trying to put it above you, the rocks are just vanishing under people, and everyone starts to fall. And I assume you probably tried to save a few.
I
You had a
can-
few other people. You can do 6
Arth-
people, I think, or 5 people.
5. Arthur's in Merrick's pocket, so I wasn't too
Yeah.
worried. So it would be me and Merrick, and 3 other, like the 3 closest people I could see.
Okay.
Well, it didn't really.
Yeah, exactly. So you get 3 other people around. You're kind of just like floating down now, but the rocks are just vanishing, and people are falling and plummeting down as you have this down, and you continue to keep it lit down. And after just a brief moment, only a couple of rounds, the rocks are just gone. You don't see any rocks anymore as they've all kind of fallen into your light. All the people are down on the ground. Some of them hurt, injured, some of them unconscious. And down at the bottom, you see this pedestal, and on top of it, you see this brilliant, glowing sphere.
Adelaide will.
As you come down,
Mhm.
the light lowering rocks start to appear above you and fall on top of people until they hit your light. And then they kind of peer and they hit your light. And it's almost like they're cascading over and over and over again, right as they're about to hit people as you go down.
Adelaide will just sheer reflex want to try to just keep the light shining over them.
So the best you can do is you have to move to one side and try to cast light over everyone. And these rocks seem to be reappearing as they're somehow, wherever they are, being pushed up and out, reappearing, then falling back down into your light. So with the light shining here, you're all safe at the bottom of this pit. But the rocks, several feet of it, are still above you, just roiling and climbing over each other as they continually fall and respawn above.
This explains why they haven't been able to get down here.
Also, does that count as something that would kill the invisibility on Adelaide?
If
I
you
wouldn't change what.
If you cast Featherfall, that's casting a spell. It
Oh
wouldn't.
yeah, casting any spell. I thought
No,
it'd be a
that's
hostile
fine.
spell.
I wasn't gonna not do.
Is it any spell?
Yeah, if you cast a spell or attack something, the invisibility will end.
So yes, yeah. So it did end.
That's fine.
Not on
No,
Merrick,
I knew.
though.
I do not regret that. Adelaide's gonna keep holding the light and be like, Merrick, make a move.
You also
I'll
notice
this.
that the light goes for about 120-ish feet, and it goes well into the side of the mountain. And a lot of the rocks are starting to fill into that crack.
Okay. Adelaide's gonna try to see if she can triangulate to figure out how to keep getting the rocks to go into the mountain. Can she try to?
Well, you're as deep as you can go this direction, so you have to turn the light, but it means you have to kind of skirt the outside to keep everyone kind of covered by it. And as you do that, you start to hear where the rocks were as the light moves away from it and the stone reappears. It starts to stress, and you see fractures in the rock. And the more and more you move, it starts to burst in, and you think out of the mountain. As Val and Bonnie, you see rocks just bursting out the side of this mountain, making holes in the side of it.
We gotta go.
What is happening?
Bonnie's just running.
Yeah, Val's following
But
her.
Adelaide, you think if you keep doing this, the blowback in here is actually not as bad. You think if you keep doing this, you might be able to get rid of all the rocks that would exist in this place. It's just going to take a couple minutes. However, at the exact same time, the people that were not fully injured are standing up, and they're turning towards you and coming directly towards you.
Mary's grabbing the pearl.
Yes, please.
I am a very charming rat.
So, Adelaide, are you going to continue to move around, try to get rid of all the stones so you can turn the light off and defend yourself and not just concentrate on not letting everyone die? You continue to do that,
Correct.
Val, as you and Bonnie start to go up the mountain, bits of just bursting off as the rock that's being forced to occupy double the amount of space it should bursts out, and just these holes are just blowing the side of the mountain. You're running up these paths to get to the top. Arthur, you are an adorable, what was it?
Charming, very charming.
Charming rat.
Charming young little rat in the pocket of Merrick, who is slipping the pearl into his pocket in the center of this room as these rocks just appear above you. And Adelaide is focusing, concentrating hard as these people, the zombie-like passengers of the gigantic ship, are coming after Adelaide. with their weapons, at least the few that are still here. That's where we're going to end for the night.
2-week break, guys.
So we'll see you in 3 weeks to resolve this. So we'll
Yay.
need to. I'm going to take some heavy notes after this to make sure that
Yes,
we know
please.
exactly what's going on.
So you would describe the people that were on this boat as like higher class people, like the
Most
kind
of,
of
yeah.
kind of full of themselves.
Well,
kinda
not the
like
crew, but
wore
the,
heavy colognes and
sure,
perfumes.
yeah.
I suddenly
Not flammable necessarily.
No. I just subtly submit that instead of calling them zombies, they are called Abercrombies.
There you go. Yes, there are Abazombies.
Beautiful.
Abrazombies. Abrazombies and finches. All right. So thank you guys again for being here. We really appreciate that. The Logan.
No,
What?
Logan. It's Abazombies and ditches.
There you go.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's good.
Chancy.
But thank you guys very much. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you for all the amazingness. And what I love about it is that means that next month, in 1 month from now, all of those subscriptions are going to hit us again on the same day. We may want to rethink this thing.
Nah.
Woo!
Never.
We really appreciate it. For the next 2 weeks, we
We
will.
just have to make more songs.
Mhm.
Oh.
I may or may not have found that backing track that we had been talking about for that thing.
Very good.
For the next 2 weeks, you can enjoy Ingrid, Tabitha, Meeks, and
Raleigh.
Raleigh as we play in Tessa's A Taste of Paradise Monster of the Week game while we wait for Mike to get back
very
from
charming
life,
rat.
whatever. A very charming rat to get back from whatever the heck he was doing. And yes, we're gonna do a raid.
We shall miss you, Mike.
We're very much gonna miss you, Mike. Let's see here. Who we got? Let's do Perception Studios.
Ooh.
Always fun.
What's our? Well, clearly,
very
our
charming
raid
rat.
cry
Yeah,
needs to
I am
be.
very
We are
charming
very
rat.
charming rat.
I am a very charming rat.
Very charming rat is our raid cry. So we got about 15 seconds before we need to raid. So thank you. Please come along with us, even if you can't stay. Just so we have a nice big raid over there. We got so many beautiful, amazing people come and raid us today. We got a lot of people watching right now. Thank you guys so much. We hope we're entertaining, if nothing else. That's the goal of the show, is to be entertaining. Shenanigoons is just us goofing around and having a lot of fun. And you know, we like to have you included. And that's why we have all these amazing things you can do to help us out. And thank you, Matthew, for 2 wheels of causality. Sorry, one of them is kind of a not getting as much play as the others, but you know, it's.
What are you talking about? Mike's been
going
milking
like
it for
crazy. That's true. So we'll see what happens next time. Make sure everyone takes some good notes. Thank you, everyone, and we shall see you next week on Tuesday. Come join us for DRPG tomorrow. We're at noon PST, and we're gonna go see Perception Studios. You're not gonna want to miss it. Love you guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
And wrap.